A Big Sue Media production.
Harper Kortemeyer, Meredith Larson, Raya Peters,
Number 11, Jack Wiseman.
Caitlin Pickett,
Number 12,
and Ellie Pickett.
Kale Roach.
Cheer coach, Hannah Burke.
Number 13, Dylan Runstead.
And now the starting defense. At defensive end, number 60,
15,
Trevor Kupras.
Braden Hansen.
Number 50, defensive end,
21,
Tyler Kennedy.
Aaron Nordby.
Number 54, defensive tackle, Cooper Breyer.
22,
Number 21, a linebacker,
22,
Aaron
Jackson
Nordby.
Gearing.
Number 22, a linebacker, Jackson Goring.
Maybe it's Goring. Well, is that,
Number
I think it's
15,
Gary
a
or Goring.
linebacker,
Gary.
Braden Hansen.
There's some people. who
Number
don't.
11, at linebacker, Jack Wiseman.
Beresford offense.
Yeah, just, they should be.
At
everybody
corner,
plays
number
both ways,
12,
so-
Kale
Number
Roach.
1, Ian Henderson.
At corner, number 1, Ben Erickson.
2,
At safety,
Ashton
number
Overby.
2, Carter Warren. And at safety,
three,
number 13, Dylan Runstead.
Number
Coaches
8,
for the Bulldogs.
Elias Perez.
Head coach, Houston Wenzel. Assistant coaches, Tanner Deloy,
Number
Kyle
11,
Wenzel,
Malachi
and
James.
Garrett Young.
And the last one, number 13, Hayden Hoffman.
And now, the cheerleaders for your Watchdogs.
Thank you.
Good pen.
Emery Algram. Izzy Beeson.
You try to keep me these stats.
Lily
Kinda hard to
Bowden.
in the middle of the-
I don't, Matt.
Nevaeh
usually writes those.
Carlson.
You want to write those, Matt? And then we'll.
Emma
So we
Johnson.
do Dells. I just have one of the dads who does the
Peyton
thing. Comes over.
Johnson.
We do a halftime thing with them. So yeah.
Raya
Yeah, I've
Merrigan.
never really been able to be that effective while
Ava
trying to
No,
Norling.
call a game.
Harper Olson.
I've tried before, but it's just
Reese
like things are
Olson.
going 100 miles an hour.
Yep.
And you're like, ba-ba.
Kalea Reiser. Maddie
I'll try to keep up
Salaska
with ya.
Larson.
I'll give you a good. I'll
Lexi
try to usually get like a
Summervold.
break after each play. I'm sorry.
Isabella Stewart. Talia Strom. Allie Van Kekrick.
I'm not sure if I'll sit down or
And
stand
Bellamy
up. I just
Westra.
kinda depends on how I'm feeling. You know, that's
Cheer
the kind of game it is to
coaches,
me last
Amy
year.
Farley
40
and
to 8,
Kristen
so-
Jensen.
I got some notes from both coaches I can read off
Okay,
here.
good.
So.
And now,
anecdotes,
the
whatnot.
starting offense for your Watchdogs. At center, a junior, number 56, Keenan Klintz. At guard, a senior, number 65, Kason Voss.
You know, when I was a coach, I did not
At
allow
guard,
this,
a
right?
sophomore, number 52,
All you gotta
Keenan
do is come down and
Short.
turn an ankle.
Yeah, that's
You know, I'm just saying, we did not.
At
Like, not
tackle,
no.
number 74, he's a junior,
that's a fair
Cam
point, like-
Mullinex.
You always do kind of wonder, like,
At tackle, a sophomore, number
Jam
77,
some other thing.
Cooper
Well,
Joseph.
Who was the kicker for Tampa Bay that messed up his name? Who was it?
celebrating. It was
At tight end, number 1, a
done.
junior, Ian
I
Henderson.
know who the guy is.
Uh-huh.
At wide receiver,
always a
a
bit of a
junior,
moron,
number
isn't he?
8,
Yeah.
Elias
But that just went to
Perez.
another level.
Gotta get the
A
smoking.
wide receiver,
From
a
replacement, that
senior,
smoking
number
Australian.
13,
He puts out his
Hayden
cigarette.
Hoffman.
Oh, that's funny.
That wide receiver, a senior, number 11, Malachi James. At running back, a
Say two on the
senior,
first
number
possession.
3,
First possession,
Hayden
I'll try and read off
Schilling.
the offense.
Yeah, go ahead. Yep.
And the quarterback, number 2, he's a junior, Ashton Oberly. Head coach for the Watch Assistant coaches Josh Arl, Noah Goosey, Bobby Jones, Arlen Lickness, and Owen Ronaldo.
We went 13-0, and we were 11A, and the 11AA team went 12-1, and their only loss was us.
Ah, nice.
And they were the champs, so it was so awesome. But anybody could have,
Obviously, you guys won it too. Then, obviously.
yeah, anybody could have pointed though. I mean, they were so
They did call it. They called it the Dakota Bowl still, right?
Yep.
Yep.
Now they alternated.
They played the Fargo Dome or the I know
That's
they always
all
are.
it was.
Well, I was gonna say back then, Alara Center didn't go up till 2003, so
Yeah. So we were there.
2002, 2003. So you guys,
95, 96, 98,
they played
99.
exclusively back then in the Fargo Dome.
Yep.
They won it, didn't you? What
Norby's is where friends meet for food and fun. Check out their daily specials. They've got drinks and pizza combo on Mondays, wing night Tuesdays, and burgers on Wednesdays. Or check out their full menu of appetizers, nachos, burgers, pizza, and more. They also have pool, darts, and shuffleboard right there at Norby's. If you're looking to host an event, check out Norby's for anniversaries, retirement, or birthdays. Norby's, where friends meet, located at 329 East 4th Street in Del Rapids.
We are getting ready every day to serve you, our customers. Woo!
Check out Adam Jones Plumbing and Drain Cleaning for any of your plumbing needs. Stop asking your husband to fix that leaky bathroom sink. Call Adam. Leaking water heater? Call Adam. Finally getting that bathroom you have always wanted? Call Adam. Adam Jones Plumbing and Drain Cleaning is a top-rated plumber, local to Del Rapids, servicing southeastern South Dakota. Adam Jones Plumbing and Drain Cleaning proudly supports Del Rapids Couriers. Del Rapids Ace Hardware has everything you need to get your projects done. Stop in and visit their paint department for Benjamin Moore paint products. For your big projects, see their great selection of power tools and their line of steel products for your outdoor projects. Del Rapids Ace Hardware also has everything for your grilling needs, including Weber and Traeger grill models. Their knowledgeable staff will help with all of your home project questions. Del Rapids Ace Hardware is open 7 days a week and located at 1108 State Highway 77 in Del Rapids. Del Rapids Realty is the preferred hometown local real estate company of choice. Serving eastern South Dakota, broker-owner Cody Burgraff and Del Rapids Realty have the answer to all of your real estate needs, whether you're buying, selling, or investing. If you're in the market for residential, commercial, agriculture, or investment property and want the most knowledgeable, experienced, aggressive, problem-solving broker working for you, then call Cody Burgraff and Del Rapids Realty today for complete confidence that as a client of Del Rapids Realty LLC, you will see results, not excuses, producing, not pretending.
Welcome to another season of Friday Night Lights as we kick off the 2025 South Dakota High School football season and Baltic Bulldogs football on Big Sioux Media. I'm Zach Borg, joined by Colin Boechler. The Baltic Bulldogs preparing to kick off their season. It's the coin toss at midfield in Beresford against the Watchdogs, a battle of the dogs as we get set to begin things. Baltic, of course, both teams coming off rough seasons. The Bulldogs going winless. Beresford won last year's opener 40-8, but they ended up going 2-6. The best part, though, Colin, none of that matters. You wipe the slate clean, and everybody has hope that they can end up at the Dakota Dome at the end of the year.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, when it comes to this part of the season, you know, you have a new batch of seniors, new leadership. What are they going to do? How are they going to motivate the kids underneath them? And so I think what you need to do from this first one, if it's me and I win the toss, Zach, I'm taking the ball. I want to set the tone right away. None of this defer to the second half. So get going right away.
I talked a little bit with Coach Wenzel for Baltic. Talk with both coaches. We'll get some notes during the game as we roll along. But Coach Wenzel, he's got a little more experience back. 9 of his 11 returning. Some obviously experience. So certainly when you bring 9 of 11 back off a winless team, you know they were pretty green last year. That matters. Obviously people will say, well, when you win winless, what does that really matter? Well, a little trial by fire. Now you've learned some things. Now you come back and you kind of know, and to your point, it didn't quite catch who won the toss there, but Baltic is going to get the opening kickoff here.
Yeah, you're talking about 9 out of 11 returners. It's all what you do in the off season. Either that motivates you or it deflates you. That's why I said those seniors that are in, they got to get the younger kids in the weight room working all summer to try to improve on that.
Now, this is one part they are going to be a little green. They did lose 4 seniors on the offensive line. They do like their quarterback, Ashton Oberly. So we'll see how that works on the offensive line, but we are all set to go and tee up another season of football. Glad you can join us tonight on Big Sioux Media. Kickoff down to about the 10-yard line. We got a return here, down to midfield. Number 13 taking that one out. That's Dylan Runestad. Nice little return out to about the 30-yard line.
Number 13, Dylan Runestad.
And we are underway. Be a 1st and 10. We'll get to the starting offenses and defenses here in a moment for the Baltic Bulldogs and Beresford Watchdogs. Very nice evening here in Beresford, South Dakota. Opening play, here's a handoff, strung out nicely, only going to be about a yard pickup on that run by Aaron Nordby.
When you have 3 wide receivers out there and you're just running it to giving it to the running back off the left side, those receivers have to stand up, get that outside linebacker, get that middle linebacker, and try to get to that defensive end, open that to the outside.
Starting offense for the Baltic Bulldogs, quarterback Gavin Scotevold, Aaron Nordby, you just saw get the carry there, Jackson Goring. They got 2 running backs, Dylan Runestad. 2 tight ends, Braden Hansen, Jack Wiseman. We've got a 2nd and 8 after the 2-yard pickoff. Pick up another handoff here inside. Nice cutback, and that's going to be pretty close to the first down. Nordby once again, and they will give him the first down. That's Caden Schurch with the tackle, the sophomore, young sophomore. Talked a little bit with Coach Ebert, and he said kind of flipped from last year. They had more experience on their lines, less experience in their skill positions. It's a different story this year. They don't have the experience up front, but they've got it on the skill positions.
Yeah, I think that's why you're going to see a lot of delayed runs and you're going to see a lot of sweeps to try to get to the outside. Those jet sweeps, you have the guys in motion here. I would say look to that when he's under center.
Initial first down of the game. There's a little jet sweep out to Runestad. He's around the end. He's got big yardage, and that'll be about a 6-7 yard pickup out of bounds. Finishing up that starting lineup, by the way, Tyler Kennedy, Jeremiah Davis, Cooper Breyer, Hunter Joppa, and Trevor Cooperis make up the offensive line for Baltic.
Yeah, kind of a wing T formation they were running there, and just a jet sweep led by 2 wide receivers and a good gain of about 7.
Yeah, they are out to midfield at the 49-yard line. Great start for Baltic. Again, they lost this game 40-8 a year ago up in Baltic. So points were at a premium last year. They're going to pass for the first time. Looking to throw. Now he's going to tuck under some pressure, and he'll be dropped behind the line of scrimmage. A couple of Baltic Bulldogs were in on that one.
Zach, what I really like there, what's hard to teach a kid is number 7, Gavin Scofield. When you have a guy that can't find the receiver down, to teach a quarterback to step into the pocket, and he did. He gained, almost all the yards back. He only lost a yard on the play. But you have those young quarterbacks always want to roll out to the side and go really deep. So that's a good job of the quarterback stepping up. That's
a good point. That could have really been a lot worse than it ended up being a 1-yard loss. Now you've got a manageable 3rd and 4 from the 48. Here's a handoff inside, stuff for a moment, but now he kicks it back outside, does Aaron Nordby, and he's going to have a first down. That was a good job. That looked like that was going to be stuff for about a 1-yard loss. He was able to crack it back outside and pick up the first down.
You look at those offensive linemen holding their blocks downfield 5-6 yards. That allows that running back to wait and then make that final cut to get the first down.
So a pretty impressive drive so far. They only couldn't do anything really with the pass on their one attempt, but they are moving the ball, running the football, and that's certainly, if you're any coach, I think at the high school level, you love to see. You're an ex-coach, so I think you love to ground and pound, especially at this level. Here's a pitch out on the outside. I think that's again Runestad. Minimal gain, maybe a yard or 2 on that one. Got out of bounds there. Still a nice little 3-yard pickup. You'll take that on the first down. That'll be 2nd and 7. I'll get to the starting defense, by the way, for the Beresford Watchdogs here in just a second. Starting, wait till the next play here, as it's mention the temperature right now here in Beresford. Can't ask for much better kickoff. 77 degrees, no real humidity. partly cloudy. Nice night for football. Another hand up. We got a flag here.
Yep.
So this one's going to be blown dead.
Flag
Looks
on
like
the
maybe a
play.
false
Stop the
start.
play.
Either a false start or somebody moved encroachment. We'll see what the call is. And
False start.
well, we mentioned that the line is a little young, and that's maybe their first mistake of the night.
2nd and 12.
Yeah, that was actually the pulling guard that left just a little bit early to try to get to that left side. So not too much, but, enough in this early stage. He's going to learn from that, and hopefully we'll see another play like that to get him a chance to redeem himself.
Yeah, and first game, too. I don't care if you're a young line or an old line. You're going to get those kind of things in the first game of the season.
Yep.
I think both coaches kind of recognize that on a night like this. So that drops it back to 2nd and 12. Still at the Beresford territory at the 48. Here's a handoff inside. And nice second effort there on the run by Jackson Gehring. He got back the penalty yardage and then some, down to about the 40. It'll be an 8-yard pickup, so this will be a very manageable 3rd and 4 coming up.
Yeah, nice, about a 10-yard gain. And what I'll see, you'll hear me say this a lot during the game, is when running backs, now Cole Rusink used to do this,
Yeah.
and he would run behind a lineman, wait to that block, and then cut off to each side. That's exactly what happened. He follows his offensive line down there.
Very quick tempo here for Baltic as they hand it off inside. This is stuffed up right away and thrown backwards for a loss on 3rd down. That's Hayden Schilling throwing him back, and it's going to be 4th down. That's about waiting for them to spot this ball here. That's about a 3-4 yard loss. Tried to get him with a little slip inside handoff, and just Schilling read that one pretty much right off the jump. We'll see what it looks like. Baltic's going to go for it. Doesn't look like we're going to, unless they do a slip punt here with the quarterback, which could happen.
Yep.
But you're on the other end of the field at the 42, 4th and 6. We'll see what they do. Kevin Scovold dropping back to pass, rolling to his right. He is going to fire it up there. It is incomplete, falls short, and it'll be a turnover on downs. Beresford will take over.
There's a good job there by number 11, Malachi James. He had the interception, but he decided not to because he would have been down right there if he caught it. So now it goes back to the line of scrimmage, and the Watchdogs will take over.
It's actually a very smart decision.
Yep.
You get better field position, even though you don't necessarily pad your stats on that one. So the home team, the Beresford Watchdogs, will come out. Again, they're coming off a 2-6 year under their head coach, Scott Ebert. Look like we've got a little timeout here. I think they just said we had a heat timeout. It's not really that hot tonight.
Well, first game, and that's how you cramp up. You're not used to it. When I coached to get these this humidity and this worked out, is every night when we come down with practice, I made these kids drink one of those large super sippers, and they're like, "Coach, I'm peeing all night." And we got to our first game, and we just never had the cramping issues. And once we made it to the Dome, when I was a coach, it was AstroTurf. So I called the recruiting coach at NDSU. I'm like, what do I need to do? All these kids, we're preparing. He goes, Colin, it's Saturday. They're all in mine at Shields getting new tennis shoes. He goes, run all of your sprints indoors so your lungs get used to that warm air, and drink water and watch them drink before they go. We didn't have one cramp in the Dome.
Coach Boechler, by the way, coached up at Velva in North Dakota, if you're wondering about the references there. Starting offense, by the way, for the Beresford Watchdogs, their tight end, Ian Henderson. Quarterback, Ashton Oberly. Running backs are Hayden Schilling, Elias Perez, Malachi James, Peyton Hoffman. The wideouts, Caden Schurch, Kanan Kleintz, Kason Voss, Cameron Mullenix, and Cooper Joseph are their offensive line. We'll get to the Beresford Baltic defense in a moment. And that defense just made a tremendous play as they strung out Oberly. I saw Cooper Breyer, several Baltic Bulldogs in there, and they blew that play up for a big loss. A loss of 5.
Yeah, think about that. Number 15, the middle linebacker, came on a blitz and was unblocked. And of course, when you can't see and your first guy hits you, it's a broken play. He did the right thing and got down, but that was all in the middle linebacker coming through for Baltic.
That was Braden Hansen making that play. We'll get to the starting defense here for the Bulldogs in a moment on 2nd and 15 now. Handoff inside, not much there either. Maybe a half a yard. That's Malachi James. Excuse me, not Malachi James. That's actually Jack Wiseman spinning him down. That defense, by the way, for the Bulldogs. We got at cornerback Ben Erickson, safety Carter Warren, linebacker Wiseman, Cale Roach also at corner. Safety Dylan Runestad, linebacker Braden Hanson, we mentioned him just a moment ago. Aaron Nordby also plays linebacker. Jackson Gehring at linebacker as well. Defensive end Tyler Kennedy, Cooper Breyer at defensive tackle. Trevor Cooper is a defensive end. Both teams, by the way, play a 3-4. 4 linebackers in there. 3rd and 15, a throw out in the flat. That might have hit the ground, but they say he caught it. It's going to be bottled up, though. A nice gain, but that was pretty much kind of doomed from the start. Let's say maybe 8 yards.
Yeah, the right side outside linebacker there, Braden Hanson, come in on a full blitz, and you did a good job of, we couldn't see, we're kind of blocked from this view, but his knee didn't touch. He just scooped it up and bring it down to 4th down. We'll see what they do right in the middle of the field here.
Even on the replay, you kind of get blocked off. I got blocked off by a lineman, so I can't. It's going to be non-factor anyway. It looks like they're going to punt as it's Overby out there. Gets this. Oh, that was nearly blocked. Might have actually gotten a piece of that. Baltic's just going to let this one bounce down around the 10-yard line. That's a very good punt. I do think Baltic might have gotten a piece of that, but took some very good roll for the Watchdogs. Down to the 15-yard line, so 44-yard punt. That's well over 40 yards. That's very good punt to flip the field a little bit.
Yeah. If you're Baltic right now, your away game, you just had a great run on offense, moved the ball, 3/4 or halfway down the field. You ate up so much clock, and then you come and play defense like that on a 4 and out. All defensive linebackers are coming, so second possession here for Baltic.
Well, they really ran the ball well. Only that play where they got stuffed for some negative yardage kind of halted the drive, but it was in plus territory. Here's a handoff, sweeping to the outside, breaking a tackle, big hit. Nordby, nice little pickup.
Anderson makes an initial hit.
So he maybe got to about the 20-yard line.
Cleaned up by a host of
not quite that much, 4 yards. They're getting some nice success to the outside.
Yeah, carrying that, number 21, Aaron Nordby. He's a junior, 5'7", 165. And I tell you, if the Watchdogs want to tackle him, they got to hit low. I watched him move his legs the whole time, and you got to take those away. You have young kids like that always want to tackle up top, and that initial hit up top, but someone's got to come low and get him down, take the legs out.
2nd and 6, ball at the 19, Baltic on their second possession. There's a fumble exchanged. Baltic does pick it up. They're going to say his knee was on the ground. That could have been disastrous, but good job by Gehring to pick that one up. He might have actually gotten some positive yardage on that despite the fumbled exchange. They do pick up 1, so it'll be 3rd and 5. And, it just looks like they
it was just a dive play, a quarterback dive play. To the running back, and just the exchange bounced the right way.
And it looks like he would have had a lot of room. I mean, gives you an idea.
Yep.
There was nobody around him, and he still picks up a yard despite fumbling. That could have gone for some big yardage, just unfortunate for the Bulldogs. 3rd and 4, and we got penalty flags. This could be coming back for Baltic. Could be another false start, and is.
So I think right here it's going to be about 3rd and 10. And, at some point, these teams have got to stretch the field a little bit and throw down and, widen out, get those linebackers back, keep them honest. And maybe we'll see that now, 3rd down. It's not 4-down territory, so go for a 1st down on this play of pass, and then we'll see where we can get and then punt it away.
You would think Beresford's probably sitting on pass 2. It's going to be an interesting one here. 3rd and 9 at the 16. A dangerous part of the field, too. They are going to pass. A lot of pressure, and he is going to go down to a sack. It's Tate Lyle getting in there, the junior, 5'10", 165. Not one of their starters. But that'll drop him back to the 6, 10-yard loss, and now you got a bit of a dangerous spot to punt from at your own 6.
Yeah, you're going to be there. For these quarterbacks, one thing, when you come to the passing game, as a quarterback in high school, it's hard to take a 3-5-step drop, look up, and find someone. Quarterback's got to come up to the line of scrimmage, read the defense, and find where that receiver is. Take your 3-step and let it go. Let the receiver go make a play, but at least it's in the air.
Ben Erickson, the punt. This is short. Takes a big hop for Beresford, and that's going to be a bad break for Baltic. It took a big Beresford
Ball's
hop,
gonna be down at the,
and it's downed. We're
looks
waiting
like
for the
about
announcement. At the
18
18, so that's only a 12-yard punt. That took about I felt like it took about a 5-10-yard
Yep.
hop backwards.
Well, we got an injured player
There's
here
an injury,
hopping
yes.
out.
Trying to
It's
identify who it is.
Number 15, Braden Hansen.
That's Braden Hansen for Baltic. That's a tough break. He had that big play on the opening play for Beresford.
illegal
Drop for 5. Now we got a penalty as well. That's injury to insult for Baltic, as they had the illegal formation on a punt that only went 12 yards after a bad hop. So no score. We're in the first quarter of the season opener between Baltic and Beresford. But the home team, the Watchdogs, in this dog fight, are knocking on the door at the 18-yard line. We'll take a quick little guessing heat break.
By the Bulldogs.
So, yeah, I mean, the interesting thing. Sorry, my mistake. Not exactly in mid-season form right now myself. Make sure I take the next time out we get a heat break. But it was interesting, too, because we kind of heard both of them say, both coaching staffs identify their lines being pretty young. Offensive line for Baltic being young. Coach Ebert saying his lines are young. And we're seeing it on the run side. Baltic's getting quite a bit of success, but that passing game where you said they kind of need to be able to stretch the field, Beresford's winning that pretty decisively, and that's made some that's definitely kind of swung the game a little bit.
Absolutely, yep. So I think you're going to probably see just more of the same. Jet sweep here to the right, 2 wideouts here. Jump ball maybe in the corner of the end zone just to get a quick score, as you are sitting right at the 20-yard line.
We didn't even really get a chance to see Beresford run their offense because that first drive. And then another nice play. Pass is completed, but boy, a great defensive play right off the jump by Baltic's Trevor Cooper. He got in there and leveled Overby. It is completed for a 2-yard gain. That could have very nearly been another sack to start the drive. So
yeah, he felt the pressure over the left side. It was probably a designed rollout anyway, but I think he wanted to go to the corner of the end zone, and that receiver was covered well down there. He took his number 2 option, and throw was just a little low from that pursuit.
2nd and 8, handoff to the outside. Man, slips down. That's the running back, Dexton Miller. He's a sophomore, only 5'7", 150. No gain on that one. It looked like he would have had a couple of yards, but Turf Monster got him on that one. It actually did pick up 5 yards, so my mistake. A little bit of a late update on the board here. So 3rd and 3. Big early moment in this game for Baltic. Would also maybe imagine it's 4-down territory.
Yeah, I think, you're going to see here in the next 2 plays, maybe a quarterback draw. Let number 30 just be your lead blocker and see if you can't sneak behind him a little.
Well, to your point, there's the draw. This is going to be close. I think he might be a little short. We'll have to look at the replay here. He got right up to the line of scrimmage. And he is just short, 2 yards. So, boy, would you maybe do the same thing again, or do you try and get a little more creative?
Well, I don't know. Here, go under center. And do like a fullback dive or a dive option where you follow the fullback through, whatever you want to go between the center and guard or guard tackle. But he's going to stay here in shotgun, so he probably give it to number 30, maybe here to the right side.
Coach Ebert says his line is very young. He loves his skill players. Handoff outside, and that's going to get into the end zone. Touchdown. Beresford, Dexton Miller goes to the outside. 2 in a row. 2 in a row, Coach. That is a 9-yard touchdown run for Dexton Miller, and the Watchdogs on the board first after that. Just a bad break on that punt. I mean, it wasn't going to be a long one, but when it takes a 12-yard hop back, it's kind of a sign it's not going to probably be your drive.
Yeah, that's true. Now we have a point after attempt here. Didn't see him kick in the pregame.
And it looks like it is right down the middle. Good. The kicker for Beresford is Peyton Hoffman. Never know in 11B, never know, period, in South Dakota what you're going to get for kicking, especially when we get later in the year, the winter time.
Yeah. But usually it's those kids that had the benefit of playing soccer when they were young, and you take that kid, and he's your guy, right? You just kind of put him in there, and I think that's what most this level does. You have a kicking competition your third day of practice, and just to see that narrow it down to 5 or 2. Everyone wants to kick. Even the linemen want to get in there.
7-0 Beresford over Baltic. You're watching Baltic Bulldogs football with 52 seconds left in the first on Big Sioux Media. Said about 52 seconds left in the opening quarter of the opening game of the 2025 South Dakota High School Athletic Association season.
Hoffman to kick off.
Could not have asked for a better night to open the season. As Beresford scores on their second drive. They had short field position with that short punt. 18-yard drive. Here is the kickoff. See Runestad back there. It's going to be brought back. Bit of a short kick. Some room up the middle. There is a flag down. Breaks a tackle and out to the 50, but let's check the penalty.
On the tackle, Tate Lyle.
That was a good return by Cale Roach, but we're going to have to see what the penalty is here. It was thrown pretty quickly.
There is a flag on, or
Nice.
not, bringing the ball back was
They're saying
Roach.
Gehring, but that was Roach. Yeah, there we go. Correction by the PA. What do we got here?
Going to be a hold, yeah.
Holding, yeah. That was thrown very quickly.
Yep.
On the Bulldogs.
Although where they're, see where they, now the question is where was it? And how far back are they going to put him? Because that was a terrific return out to midfield.
Yeah, you're going to march off 10.
Puts the ball back to
Well,
Bulldog.
That's actually not the worst spot in the world for them
No.
because that, you'll take starting field position at the 39 any day.
Yeah, I did. Watching the game on my phone here, it's about a 30-second delay. I looked down here at the near side. There was a lot of Baltic kids right in the center, so he threw it right at him, a spot foul.
Play right up the middle. Nice gain. He's still going. And a big run on first down into Beresford territory. Aaron Nordby is off to a terrific start to his 2025 season.
First and 10.
That is close to about a 15-yard run. Almost 20 yards on that one. And for the second time today, Baltic is into Beresford territory.
Yeah, number 13 there goes in motion quite a bit, Dylan Runstead. And that takes the linebackers off, follow him, and then it was just a good play. So jet sweep here to the right.
And that's going to be more good yardage. Another first down to the look of it. That was Dylan Runstead. And this is the kind of response you want if you're a Baltic fan. 2 big runs and a first down.
Now, if you're out there and you see on a jet sweep, here's something to look for. Whatever side it goes to, look at the offensive guard and the tackle. And if there's a tight end out there to jam, but just watch those linemen get down the field, hold their blocks, get it through, and find the next guy.
5 seconds left in the quarter. Beresford leading 7-0. Baltic, though, with the first and 10 at the 30 after quickly moving downfield.
Yeah, this will.
Expecting the clock to start running, but it has not gone yet. So we're going to get one more
He
play
must have went
here.
out of bounds instead of moved the
Yeah,
chains.
Baltic going to throw. Long pass is caught. Nicely done. Schofield to Jackson Gehring, and they are going to be down into the red zone.
Pass to number 22, Gehring.
That's a big game. We'll see if they spot him.
Took place out of
Yeah, that
Oh,
was.
no, they say it goes out of bounds.
Oh, okay.
Well, that was a good-looking pass.
Yeah,
just
it
a
would have
little
been
bit too far.
26-yard completion. Good athletic move, and that's what I say. Quarterback, sometimes you just have to throw it up there and let the athlete go make a play.
Well, that is the end of the first quarter. Baltic is on the move, but Beresford holds a 7-0 lead. You're watching Bulldog football on Big Sioux Media.
I started out here 31 years ago I didn't know where I was going to head, and I started out at the bottom, and now I'm the area manager, and it's because guys like Rob and Rick have a belief in me and what I do. and I take that with me every day to work, and I try to pass that on to my coworkers. That, you know, it's a great place to work, and my heart is in this place. It has been since the first day I started out here.
Second quarter of action in the season opener from Beresford. Baltic trailing the host team, the Watchdogs 7-0, but they're on the move. 2nd and 10 at the 30. There's a handoff inside. It's Nordby again. He's got big room, and he is going to be close to another first down. In fact, he's going to have that. That looks like about a 12, 13-yard pickup.
Yeah, the lineman on the right side did a good job, but he hit the hole really hard, head down, and he had some daylight, kept the, you know, moving, and what did he get there? About 12, 13 total yards?
12 yards. He just isn't. You're right. If you do not hit him low, his legs just keep moving. It's like a churn. Nordby, we don't have our stats right now, but it feels like he's already at least over 50 yards right now, maybe 60. 1st and 10 at the 18. Baltic in the red zone. Handoff inside. Not much there. Bounce out. They lose the helmet. Does number 21. That's Nordby again.
That's the second time his helmet has come off, right?
Nordby, there is a couple flags on the play.
So this is
flags. Yeah, we'll see what this is.
This got to be a horse collar or a face mask to get rid of the helmet like that.
I'm gonna wonder. We see helmets pop off a lot, but you don't see them literally ripped off that often.
No, you don't. So there's two kind of penalties for face masks. One's a personal foul, the 15. In this case, it'll be half the distance to the goal. And there's that one where you brush it, which is just a 5-yard penalty. This, the worst of the two. And we'll march it off half the distance to the goal. And
I don't get down to about the 8-yard line.
Yeah, pretty close to that.
I always thought half of 18 was 9, but I'm it's Colorado State math for you right there, folks.
The Rams.
We're not good at football, but apparently we're not good at math either. Thus endeth the Colorado State lessons.
Well, you just got to grow into that new stadium down there. So on a personal foul, looks like number 21. Looks like he's back in there. Hopefully he has that helmet strapped on a little tighter.
Well, to be fair, if somebody rips it off, I don't know if there's if you have it strapped on too tight, they might rip your head off if that's the case. Goodness. Looks like we're having a little issue maybe spotting the ball here. Can't quite tell. Both healthy cheerleading teams out tonight, too. Nice to see. You never know depending on the community, but both teams out, they both have some pretty healthy, good-sized cheerleading teams. I'd love to see an 11B or 9-man. Of course, this opening week is just the 11B and 9-man. The rest of the classes begin next week. This is technically week 0, but for most of us, we'd rather just call it week 1. That's actually 1st and 9 now, the scoreboard updates. 1st and goal at the 9. Here's another end around. Can't quite tell the number. That's Dylan Runestad. Not much. He got strung out pretty nicely.
On the carry was
maybe a
13,
yard.
Runestad.
Not much.
Yeah, he just flexed towards the sideline, and, the whole defensive line was right in motion, and that wall just moved towards the sideline, and he couldn't cut back. He just did the right thing and run out of bounds and not get hit hard.
Well, we got 3rd. I'm not quite sure how this is 3rd. I thought that was a.
Well, they're changing the thing over there. This has got to be 3rd.
Yeah, this has got to be 2nd down because we had the personal foul penalty, and that was 1st down. I thought.
Well, this should be 3rd down.
I thought this should be 2nd down. Well, I think we're all a little confused. Here's a handoff inside. It might be a mute point because he is into the end zone for a touchdown. Aaron Nordby. That was his drive, and he caps it with a touchdown. Baltic fans in front of us standing and applauding. They are a point away from tying, or maybe a 2-point away from taking the lead.
Yeah, that was the same play he had similar when he gained all that yardage. The play before he got his helmet ripped off. And I said, he hit that hole really hard, and he let his lineman clear it. And before that, just suck shut. You have to get through there. And, man, he's a quick kid, low to the ground at 5'7". And he's a tough bugger back there.
Baltic going for 2 and a chance to take the lead here. They give it inside. I can't tell. It looks like they're not going to get it. They get pushed back. It's Gehring who got pushed back. They kind of had a motion where it looked like they were going to fake it to Nordby, and Gehring gets stuffed. So Beresford maintains the lead 7-6, but Baltic an impressive answer after giving up that short touchdown. It's 7-6. with 10:53 to the half.
You know, watching it looked like the lineman kind of got a late start on that, which allowed the defensive line to push across and any hole that had a chance. But when you're that close on the 3-yard line, you know, you put all 10 guys right on line and you squeeze towards the center to try to snap those holes shut. And, you know, those extra points are tough. I know most coaches, you know, I spent a lot of time on extra points. We didn't kick a lot. But those need to be a separate things. Those need to be worked on because you've seen games where it's a 1 or 2 point swing and it does total things for momentum.
Yep.
And, you know, it's just not another play. It's a special play.
You never know. I mean, those, whether it's a PAT that's being kicked, those can add up, especially in a close game, which it looks like we're in for that. Last year was 40-8, and this does not feel like it's going to be that tonight. Sometimes those, I mean, you think that's going to be the easier one, but when you compress the field like that, I mean, you're a coach. I mean, obviously, you don't want to pass up the gift horse, but sometimes you'd rather almost have that wide open field, I think, to run your stuff as opposed to the 2 yards where you kind of have to figure out where everything's just kind of packed in.
Yes.
Well, Baltic will kick away, as Beresford has not had a kick return yet in this football game. This one's pretty short. Getting under that is Ian Henderson, and actually they handed it
off to Malachi.
Yeah, but he's got big return, one man to beat, and he gets finally knocked out of bounds, but this is getting to midfield. Malachi James, see that every now and then, one of those little reverse plays. Ian Henderson caught it and then handed it off to Malachi, who got around the end, and that's going to be right to midfield.
Well, you could tell there, as soon as he saw some daylight, it's like he hit a second gear. And when you have that angle towards the sideline, you're going to pick up those extra yards, especially on a kickoff when you have a lot of your team already down the field and it goes to the inside. So that was a great play to hand that off in the middle of the field because it left the outside wide open.
Malachi, one of the players Coach Ebert told me to watch out for. He is really you can see the speed, too, and he's built pretty well. Here's their quarterback darting through, and nice run by Oberly, the junior, 5'10", 175.
Ball up to the Bulldogs.
Got a man down for Baltic in the middle of that.
Timeout on the field.
We're going to get a timeout here. He threw his helmet. This looks pretty bad, too. Can't quite tell who it is.
Well, this is a good opportunity to bring your team over to the side. They have to stay on the field, but pump them full of water right now. You know, it's there's not enough time at halftime to replenish what you've lost in the first quarter. It's such an important deal, on especially the first game when your muscles aren't used to. Yeah, you practice hard, you go against it, but it's not live. It's not is ruling. It's not the same.
Well, I know. Pulling up talking a little bit with Coach Ebert about some of his players to watch, and I know for Baltic, Coach Wenzel, I know he's been pushing his guys quite a bit in the training. To quote him, a lot of early morning practices. They've been working pretty hard, and really looking forward to what they could do in this game. And you can certainly tell in the team is pretty well conditioned, although right now a lot of concerns. Certainly, nobody's dropped to a knee yet, but still can't quite see who's down out there. We take a look at some scores right now around the state of South Dakota. In 11B, the game of the night, probably in all classes. Number 2, Sioux Valley, visiting number 4, St. Thomas More. Now we're getting them walking off. That's actually, and this is a big one. That's Aaron Nordby, so they really have to hope he comes back. And again, he chucked his helmet out there. But I was going to complete that. Sioux Valley was up 8-7 at St. Thomas More. Here's the stunner right now. Hot Springs leading 7-6 over Winter, number 1 ranked team. Of course, winner is winner. So you don't expect to see them losing. That's at the end of the first quarter. So we'll get some more scores here in a bit. We're back to action now. 2nd and 2 for Beresford. They're going to throw here, pass out. Nice hit. Whew. Nice shot by Cale Roach. That pass was completed to Elias Perez, but he paid for it, and he did not get the first down. In fact, I think he dropped about a yard. No gain on the play. In fact, they will drop him back a yard, so it's 3rd and 3. That was a terrific tackle by Roach.
Yeah, he got out there quick, read it really well. I saw on the play before, they were kind of setting up this screen here to the left, and he was wide open that time, and so I know the coach saw that, and he's like, I can probably get away with it, and, man, didn't fool anybody there.
3rd and 3. They'll sweep it outside with Malachi James into the pile. This is going to be awful close. Tough to tell from where the umpire is. I think he's a little short. We might get a measure. Oh, no, they're not even going to measure. They're saying 4th down, so this is going to be 4th and less than a yard. Beresford, rather, looks like they're keeping the – well, now they're giving them a 1st down. Well, shows what I know.
Yep.
That was very close, though. Pretty good job by Baltic is making them work for every yard right now. So 1st and 10, ball at the Baltic 46 for Beresford. This is their 3rd drive of the game. We'll be back to pass. Now he pumps, rolls to his right, gets hit as he throws. That ball does bounce and is incomplete. It's 2nd and 10.
So you got 3 receivers there on the top side of the field, and they're both ended up here about the 20-yard line. Now, when you have your quarterback that rolls just a couple steps to the right, there is no crossing pattern here at the 35-yard line. It's just throw it long or to the side, but there's no one camping out. You know, there was no Baltic guy there either. So you got to have even your opposite receiver down here, the one on the bottom, has got to kind of slant and just hang out, and that's going to be that, you know, safety net, so to speak, for the quarterback, because he's going to know I can at least throw it there. That's just something you need to work on those plays.
And off on the inside, nice gain, big gain, breaks a couple tackles, and this is going to go all the way. Touchdown, Malachi James, 46 yards. Beresford into the end zone. That was a spectacular run by the guy we were told to keep an eye on, and he started this drive with a big kick return. He finishes it with a highlight reel run.
Yeah, he came from the right behind the tight end. They call that a slot position, and it was all out here. So the quarterback rolled to his left, and it was an inside handoff. So it was kind of tricky there because the linemen are watching the other people move to the right side, and here he comes and just hit the edge. Good blocking downfield.
And they fake the kick. Overly's throw is dropped by Ian Henderson, so the 2-point conversion attempt no good. 13-6, Beresford leads Baltic with 8:45 to go in the first half, and we've gotten a shootout all of a sudden brewing as each team has scored in the last 3 possessions. But that last one, like I said, the first drive for Beresford, they got a bit of a gift on that fortunate punt bounce. That one, although special teams played a role in that one too with that big kickoff return. Yep. That one all about Malachi James.
You know, when talking about that last play, the actual name of that would be a counter play back over to the left side. And that's that inside handoff. You don't see a lot of teams use that. But when you're in the slot, see, Del Rapids Public forever has run that double slot, right? And those are a lot of the inside handoffs. But it is a good play, in my opinion. Always has worked well when you get the blocking. And you have to tell your line on the left side and those receivers, hold your block. Count to 4, 5. But you can't let them go. Otherwise, that does not work.
So the Bulldogs, once again, needing an answer. Giving him a touchdown. They had an impressive drive. Now the interesting thing you have to wonder about for Baltic, will Aaron Nordby be back in the lineup after he threw his helmet after getting hurt on the last series? We will see.
He's had his helmet off quite a bit today.
Yeah. It's
twice not by choice.
Yeah, definitely not. Trying to see if he's out here on the return, but I do not see him. Here's the kickoff. This one's going to be about the 10-yard line. That is taken by Jax Rakota. A nice return down to about the 38-yard line.
On the tackle, number 65.
Impressively done there. Not see any sign yet of Nordby, so bit of an interesting.
You know, not a bad, I mean, really good run back. He's just a freshman, 5'10", 145. You know, put his head down, got there, and you know, another thing, these high school kids don't hit low, and so his feet kept moving, And
Hey, let's hear it for that Watchdog
normally, if you can
student
get that first guy to hit
volunteer.
low and stop the legs, then that second, third guy come in and lay the bomb, and that's you just have to teach that and make it a fundamental from day one.
Low man wins.
Yep.
I mean, that's been taught. You'd like to think that's been taught since the dawn of time or
Yep.
the dawn of football, but as you said, we've been seeing in this game. Again, first game as well, so
Yep.
everybody's kind of shaking off, as we said earlier, the jitters in this one. I'm trying. Speaking of first game, you had your South Dakota score feed. I'm having to update it because I haven't been on it in about a year.
Yep, that's how it goes.
Oh, it's that time of year. But we are all getting back in the swing of things. These two teams have gotten back in the swing of things quite nicely after each failed to score on their opening drive. We've had touchdowns on our last 3 drives. Zach Borg with Colin Boechler at Beresford High School. Jim Hierenfield, I believe I'm pronouncing that correctly. Can't quite.
Yeah, coming in for Beresford, number 5, Elias Oakley, sophomore, 5'6", 155.
Handoff inside. Nice second effort there for the Bulldogs. Jackson Gehring. And that's going to be awful close to a first down.
Bulldog 49.
I think they actually might give him the first down. Yep, first down for Gehring. So
That's good enough for a Bulldog.
no
first
Nordby
down.
yet. Still trying to scan the sideline to see if he's over there. But Gehring's also run the ball pretty well too today.
Yeah, he's on the table over there. Back, I know Vera with the black shirts is over there working on. Can't quite see what they're working on.
Well, we'll hope for the best for him. Here's an option play. The quarterback, Scovolt's going to keep it. He's got about 3 or 4 yards on that one, out of bounds.
Yeah, that was the best choice he could have made there. If it would have been more to a wider side of the field, he did have a pitch man following him. But just to tuck that and get out, gain 5 yards there, that's a perfect way to do that. Well-run play by the quarterback.
Pushing that nice position of a manageable second down when you get about a 5-yard pickup. You can opens up the offensive playbook quite a bit more on second down.
On the high side, we got a new player up there. Number 1, Ben Erickson, wide receiver, senior up top.
A big fella out there. And they're going to pass. Scovold looked his way. He's hit, and he will be dropped. That's Ian Henderson,
On the sack,
the junior,
number
getting the
1,
sack.
Ian Henderson.
Yeah, there's just nothing you can do to
All
escape
the way
that.
back to the Bulldog,
The guy got a hold of the back of his
44-yard
foot and kind of tripped him, but reached forward. He was almost on his stomach, and you just got to
Third and
stumble him.
15.
Well, there's
Look
no
out,
hard
that
hit, but man, he
defense.
was there quick.
Well, pass protection's been a struggle. The line has been really good on the run blocks, but they just have not had the time to get anything deep passing developing. And you can tell he was looking for Erickson right away, trying to maybe take advantage of that 6'1" size. Just couldn't quite get it right away.
Well, that's what I was telling you before. One of these things, when the quarterback gets out, he's got to know a 3-step, get the ball out
Yeah.
at least. You got to make that a timing in practice.
3rd and 15, Gehring takes the handoff around left end. He's going to get back to about the original line of scrimmage. That'll bring up 4th down and 10, thereabouts.
And you see that in college, they'll come up and they'll make some kind of a signal. So the quarterback and any receiver who gets that specific signal knows it's coming to me. I know where he's going to be. It's going to be a quick out. I don't have time to find a second receiver even, right? So just get the ball out and I always say let the receiver go make a play.
Well, aside from this being the first game, Gavin Scovold, still a sophomore. He's young. Even though he's played quite a bit, there's still a learning curve when you're still that young.
Yep.
It'll come. Punt is away, and this one's going to be a much better one after that rough break and a fair catch called for by
James.
Malachi
At the
James.
Watchdog 19. That's where they'll take over.
Boy, James, you got to think this is a kid who haven't seen the college commitments yet, but I think he's a kid who's going to be getting some interest from at least some NAIA D2 schools around here. 6'3", 170, senior. I mean, that's a good burst of speed.
Yep. Kind of hits that higher gear. Yeah, you're going to, I don't even know, is he a basketball player too?
With that size, with
Yep.
the speed, and also the ability to break tackles. So that was really impressive on that last run as well. 1st and 10 at the 19. Beresford leading 13-6. Big moment early in this game. Watchdogs don't want to go down by 2 scores. Quarterback Taking himself behind his center,
Oberle
pick up a
on the
couple
keeper
yards.
up the
Oberle,
middle.
Ashton Oberle.
Yeah, number 21, Aaron
Looks
Norby
like
was
the
in there. You
ball's
see
gonna be
him
placed
skipping
around
off
the
through his helmet
20.
again. He's
Oh,
having
man.
a tough time on
Yeah.
that left calf,
Gain
left
of
ankle,
4.
and he just
Second
tried to
and
play
6.
some
Yeah, he just
defense.
slammed
and
the bench too. I don't know if he's going to be able to keep in this game. He's in a lot of pain, which is unfortunate because he was having one heck of a game. But
yeah, just the right side linebacker. That play went across the field. He went to cut on his left foot, and I saw him lift it straight up, and that helmet went flying when he
Yeah.
got close. Yeah, you just feel bad for a kid, and hopefully he can recover quick from it and come back next week in some fashion.
2nd and 6, pass out in the flat. Not going to get a whole lot.
That's
Nice.
complete.
Good
to
tackling
Borg.
out on the outside edge there.
Up
Tackling's
to
been good on the edges all
25.
day. That's Braden Hansen.
That's going to bring up 3rd and 4. Let's help
Can't
out
quite
that
tell who he's.
Watchdog offense.
It's Hansen and one other guy's sandwich. I can't quite tell who's on the bottom of that, but a Baltic Bulldogs sandwich, if you want. I think it was maybe Carter Warren who was down there with him too. Yeah, you weren't kidding about the helmet for Aaron Nordby. I think it's taking about as much of a beating as he's taking today, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's a tough scene on the other end of the bench.
It
I don't want to dwell on that anymore, but I feel for him. Good luck, young man. 3rd and 4, back to game action. Oberle with the inside handoff. James breaks a tackle, breaks 2 tackles, and we'll have the
Inside
first down.
handoff to James on
That
the
was a good
tackle,
10, 11-yard
runs
run. And
Ball
just,
on the
you know,
36
you have to
of the
look at
Watchdogs.
yards after
That's
contact
good
with
enough
him.
for
You know, it
Watchdogs.
probably got 5 or 6 yards after he was hit. So that tells you that strong lower body, getting your head down. And that's something we don't talk about a lot in high school is when you get, how many yards can you get after the hit?
We talk about low man winning. I don't think it's that they're going high. He's just it's that lower body strength. He's breaking the tackles, and that's just a superior player winning right there. So 1st and 10 for Beresford at their own 36. Oberle back to pass. Now he's flushed, and he is going to be gang tackled and sacked.
Oberle
See,
gets
in on that one,
sacked. The
Tyler
first one
Kennedy,
there
the
looks like it was
junior.
number 15.
Now, I don't know
Also
if
in
that
on
was,
that one, Braden Hansen
Yeah.
maybe too.
Bosby
I
back
don't know
to
if that was a
31.
broken play, but
Second
it
and
kind of looked
15.
like, nothing was going right. You had a motion, you put the back to the other side, and just a 3-step, and he had nothing to do.
Yep.
The guy was wide open, but he had those 2, number 60 out there for Baltic. He's 6'6", and that's who he had to throw over and even see around. So I see why he just ate it there. But there was an offensive receiver over in that flat.
Got to be a lonely feeling when that pocket's caving in on
Right.
you. 2nd and 15 after the 5-yard loss from the 31. Fakes the throw. Here's more pressure now. He's going to take off and run. I don't think he's going to get very much. Nice tackle.
Oberle
I will
on
say
the
the tackling
keeper.
has been pretty good. About the only time you
First
can't even say
hit
the tackling hasn't been
by
good because James
Hansen.
breaks it.
Yep.
Ball's
But
gonna move.
minimal gain, maybe a yard. It'll be 3rd and long.
It's going to stay at the 31.
No gain.
3rd and 15. Let's help out that Watchdog offense.
So this is a big one for Baltic. If they can turn them away here, 2:17 to go in the half.
Yeah, this 3rd down, like I said, this is going to be a huge play. It's 15 yards with the time, 2:08. If Baltic stops him here, gets a fairly decent return on any kind of punt, they're going to be sitting at midfield with, 2 timeouts left and the ball.
Looks like we might be getting a timeout here from Beresford. They're looking over the sidelines, maybe going to run some clock. Yep. Timeout here from Beresford as they lead 13 to 6. It's been a fantastic opening game.
Upcoming events
Good mix
on
of defense, good mix of
Monday. The boys
offense.
golf team travels to Del Rapids.
Sun is now out.
The JV football
Good way to start
travels
the
Baltic.
2025 South Dakota
On
high school football
Tuesday,
season. And
8th grade football
now that my
at
South
home
Dakota
versus Baltic.
score feed has updated, I can.
Volleyball will have their
Although I
opener
still have basketball on
versus
here,
Camp.
for some reason I
Right
can
here
now
at the
begin to
Beresford High
update
School
you
Gym.
as Coach
On
has.
Tuesday.
That St. Thomas More game, by the way, out west. St. Thomas More now leads Sioux
Wednesday,
Valley, who's ranked
golf is
second,
at Dakota
14 to
Valley.
8. That game is at the end of the 3rd quarter, so they're going to the 4th. That's a defensive.
Thursday,
Not really used to
it's the
seeing St. Thomas
Watchdogs
More in
cross
defensive
country
struggles,
kickoff.
but there you
10
go.
a.m.
Duel
on
leading at
Thursday.
Flandreau, 12 to 6. That game nearing half. Clark Willow Lake, who isn't receiving votes, leads at leads Roncalli. That game's up at Northern State Stadium, 22-0, midway through the second quarter. Third-ranked Elk Point Jefferson, not too far south of here, leading Parker 27-7. That game nearing halftime. Number 1 winner has gone ahead, but this game's still close out in Hot Springs, 12-7, with about 6 minutes to half. Groton all over Webster, 38-0. That game in Groton. Woonsocket, Wessington Springs, Sanborn Central leading Bridgewater, Emory, Ethan in a game I would not want to be announcing because that's too many names, 7-6. Mount Vernon playing it in 22-0 over McCook Central Montrose in Mount Vernon. That game nearing the half. Here's an inside handoff, bouncing to the outside. Excuse me, that was actually
quarterback draw to the left side.
Handoff, yep.
Good game,
Nice
10.
Unfortunately for him, he had 3rd and 15, but maybe you think, do you maybe think about it?
Well, I don't know. If I'm Baltic, I'd take a timeout here and stop the clock. Yeah, they're just going to let it run down.
One other score, by the way, 5th-ranked Wagner leads Chamberlain 13-0 with about 7 minutes to go in the second. That game in Wagner. So more immediate matters at hand. It's 4th and 5.
Yeah, I don't know. He's just let about 30 seconds run off this clock. I don't know why they didn't use one of their 2 timeouts.
I'm almost wondering if maybe they thought they were going to go for it, but it looks like Beresford wants to punt. And now we get the timeout, but this is actually from Beresford because they're about to face a delay of game penalty. Well, there's some more scores, maybe at least in the top 5 for the 9-man scores. Number 2, Hamlin. This is a game a lot of people were maybe thinking Britton Hecla had a chance to pull an upset. So far, Hamlin leading at Britton Hecla 22-0. Interesting couple of ranked battles, actually. Number 3, Parkston hosting number 5, Freeman Mary and Freeman Academy. That game tied at 6 nearing halftime. Number 4, Viborg, Hurley all over Canastota down in Viborg, 38-0. And number 1, Elkton Lake Benton leading Wabash Summit 35-0. That game up in Wabash or Summit.
Hey,
I don't know. I'm making assumptions here, folks. Class 9A, number 1 ranked Howard trailing Alcester Hudson 12-0. That game down in Alcester or Hudson again. Not really sure where. We just picked guesses. Number 4, Warner leading at home over Castlewood 13-0. That game in the second. Number 5, Harding County Bison leading Gettysburg 14-0. Number 3, Woolsey Wessington trailing Esteline Hendricks unranked 30-6 nearing half. That's a big upset developing. Here's 4th and 5 from the 31. Still in punt formation is Beresford. Would they maybe think about a fake here? They've got the up man's the quarterback Oberly. Nope, they aren't going to punt this ball away. And it's not a great one, although I was afraid maybe for a second that was going to maybe hit off of the up man 87, but it'll be down at about the 27-yard line with 49 seconds to half. And there are some late games, by the way. The second-ranked team, Wall, out west. That game will start about 5 minutes from now. So get the 9B scores a little bit later here. But again, more pressing matters to attend to with Baltic getting the ball here. 49 seconds to half. They've had some explosive plays, but it's been mostly the running game, and they only have 49 seconds left.
Yep. And 2 timeouts to me is kind of a moot point right now. It's you got to get your team down there. You got to set the chains. It'll stop for just a little bit, but I don't think they did a good job of not stopping the clock there before the punt.
Handoff on the inside, tripped up right away. Gehring, I trying to see who was in there. Might have been Tate Lyle. I think got him right around the ankle.
On the tackle there.
And I think Beresford's content to just let this one run out, although now they're kind of hustling up to the line, so I'm not really sure what they're doing. And I don't think they're really all that comfortable trying to well, I was going to say they're not comfortable trying to pass. Now they are back to pass. No real time. Now he's going to tuck and run. Big hit. Fumble. Ball's out. And it looks like it's still loose. Watchdogs are signaling that they have it, and they do. It is recovered at the 41-yard line. That ball, it's Lyle again who had the terrific tackle just a moment ago. There's only 14 seconds left.
I tell you, that was one heck of a hit on a quarterback. He's going to step into the pocket to the next level, but he's got nowhere to go. Those linebackers are sitting, and they swarmed on him. That first hit was huge, and that's what made, because it stood him up. His helmet, his face mask hit his chin, and the ball popped out, and it was around there quite a while. We couldn't see through the players here, but they were still scrambling, and And then, 14 seconds, you're going to try to get long. You got to put a safety or free safety pretty back. I would.
That's what I was speculating. I didn't think they'd want to pass because there's just been no time, nothing developed, and it was a disaster. Now Overly back to pass, rolling to his right. He hits James down the right side. He's going to get out of bounds. They do have a kicker. We don't know what his range is.
And one timeout. So if you're going to throw here,
something quick to the sideline.
It's got to be quick to the out.
Or maybe quick slant to the middle with that one timeout. Ball is at the 26. So from here, that'd be a long one. You're talking about probably a 44-yard field goal, I think.
Yep.
So I think you'd want to probably get another 8, try and get a quick 7 or 8 yards. And again, we don't know the kicker's range. He made the extra point with plenty, but no wind. I mean, we have a pretty good view of the flagpoles, and it's just a light breeze at this point.
So 4 receivers. You'll see a blitz come here, but it's going to be try to get it down into the end zone. It's going to be a long throw.
Yeah, they're going to go for the home run ball. Oberly going deep, going for James. Ooh, that was actually pretty close. Nice play by Dylan Runestad, and that will be the half.
That brings us to halftime.
Good first half. Baltic and Beresford, this dogfight. It is a dogfight. Baltic trails Beresford on the road 13-6 in the opener of the 2025 South Dakota High School football season. You're listening to Baltic. You're listening and watching Baltic Bulldog High School football on Big Sioux Media.
The locally owned Pizza Ranch in Del Rapids, owned by Marcy, Robert, and family, is where you can meet with your family and friends for a great meal. Stop in and enjoy pizza, buffet, salad bar, chicken, with plenty of seating and a game room for the kids. Give them a call at 605-428-5967 for delivery or carry-out orders. Download the app and order online. The locally owned Pizza Ranch is open 11 a.m. to 8 p.m., lunch buffet from 11 to 3, and evening buffet from 5 to 8, located at 500 West 4th Street in Del Rapids. The Dells Theater is the area's best theater experience and value. This beautifully restored theater is located on Main Street in Del Rapids. Enjoy the pick of the best first-run hit movies at bargain prices and enjoy the best popcorn around. Contact the theater about renting time to play video games on the big screen. 428-3456 or online at dellstheater.com. Here's what's showing this week at the Dells Theater. Dells Electric is your helpful, friendly, and on-time electricians in Del Rapids and the surrounding area. Whether it's residential, new construction, remodel, or commercial services, Dells Electric is here to serve you. Dells Electric is also a Cummins generator dealer and handles in-floor heating installation. Let Mike Carpenter and his knowledgeable staff handle your electrical needs. Call Dells Electric at 605-428-5700.
Build life-saving fire trucks at Rosenbauer. Rosenbauer America has been building life-saving fire apparatus for over 40 years in the Sioux Falls area. On-the-job training is available for most positions, and we need dedicated, responsible individuals to help us on our mission of saving lives and protecting property. Every moment counts at Rosenbauer, and every member of our team is treated just as importantly. Be part of something that matters. Go to buildfiretrucks.com to apply today.
GMC, Chevy, Ford, Ram. Really, any given week, you'll find about all those models on the lot. The most popular brand is gas mileage. That's the truth. We're in Del Rapids. We don't have 50,000 cars driving by our store every day. And the internet and the phone is our bloodline. Golden West has been there and provided us with that from the very beginning.
This is my home.
Del Rapids Lumber, located at 1208 North Highway 77 in Del Rapids, is your one-stop shop for all of your home improvement needs. They also have a wide variety of decking options to choose from, so you're sure to find something that fits your needs. They have everything you need to complete your home improvement projects, from lumber and hardware to paint and tools. They only sell the highest quality products, so you can be confident that your home improvement project will be a success. Come on down to Del Rapids Lumber today and let them help you make your home improvement dreams a reality.
A game without a crowd is just a scrimmage. A performance without an audience is just a rehearsal. Without your presence, high school sports and the performing arts aren't possible. Ensure that these essential extracurricular activities continue to enrich the lives of students in South Dakota. Purchase a ticket to your local high school's game or performance.
This message presented by the SDHSAA.
Norby's is where friends meet for food and fun. Check out their daily specials. They've got drinks and pizza combo on Mondays, wing night Tuesdays, and burgers on Wednesdays. Or check out their full menu of appetizers, nachos, burgers, pizza, and more. They also have pool, darts, and shuffleboard right there at Norby's. If you're looking to host an event, check out Norby's for anniversaries, retirement, or birthdays. Norby's, where friends meet, located at 329 East 4th Street in Del Rapids.
Welcome you back to Beresford for the opening night of Friday Night Lights in the South Dakota High School football season. Only 4 classes in action tonight. 11B, 9 in all 3 9-man classes as the season kicks off. Get to the scoreboard on this opening night. The only scoreboard we didn't get to during play was 9B, and there's, of course, some interesting ones that we know people watching here on Big Sioux Media are going to be interested in, so we'll get to those right now. The ranked teams, number 1, Silly Buttes leads Northwestern 28-0. That game out in Silly Buttes, out in so a big lead for the defending state champs. 4th ranked Del Rapids St. Mary all over Oldham Ramona Rutland, out in Rutland 38-6. That game about to go to half. So Del Rapids St. Mary, the Cardinals, well on their way to victory. Mention this score, it's a cross-class game. Number 4, Viborg Hurley leading 38-0 over 5th ranked Canastota. Canastota in Class B, not their night out in Viborg, it would appear. Also, number 2, Avon in Class B, leading Coleman Egan 32-0. That game out in Avon. That the ranked scores as well in that class. Other scores, unranked teams, congratulations, Sioux Falls Lutheran, 52-20 over Irene Wakanda. Their first ever win. They went winless last year in their inaugural year. They are off the schneid there. Iroquois Lake Preston leading Wilmot 16-6, nearing half. Corsica Stickney in a good one over Hitchcock-Tulare 12-6. Burke over Cologne 31-0. That came already in the first quarter. Bennett County leading Jones County 24-6 in the second quarter. Arlington leads Sunshine Bible 20-0. That game has just gone to half. And Faith and Harriet Selby have just kicked off. 11B scoreboard, of course, our game, it's 13-6. Beresford leading Baltic. The game of the night, St. Thomas More. This thing has been going back and forth. St. Thomas More has just gone ahead of Sioux Valley. Number 4, St. Thomas More, 20-14 over number 2, Sioux Valley. 8 minutes to go on that one, so a lot could certainly change. Dual leading Flandreau on the road, 12-6. Clark Willow Lake up 30-0. That game over Aberdeen Roncalli at the Northern State Dakota Bank Stadium. Elk Point Jefferson, 3rd ranked, leading Parker 34-7 down in Elk Point. Number 1 winner having a tough time at Hot Springs. They only lead 12-7 at the half. Groton leading Webster 48-0. That game about to go to half and probably might be a mercy rule game. Bridgewater Emory Ethan leads 12-7 at Woonsocket Wessington Springs Sanborn Central nearing half. Mount Vernon Plankinton at home over McCook Central Montrose pitching a shutout 22-0. And number 5 Wagner at home over Chamberlain 19-0. And 9AA number 2 Hamlin leads Britton Heckle on the road 22-0. Great Plains Lutheran 20-0 over Waverly South Shore. Hanson up 21-7 at home over Garrettson. Hill City in a good one with Stanley County at home, leads 28-26 near and half. Number 5, Freeman Marion, Freeman Academy, 13-6 over number 3, Parkston. That game in Parkston. Bennett County, 24-6 on the road over Jones County. Again, most of these games are in the first half. Bottom leading TDA ACDC, one of my favorite schools, 43-0. Number 1, Elkton Lake Benton, maybe a mercy rule game going on there, 42-8 over Wabash Summit on the road. Gregory in a tight one leads Scotland Minnow in Scotland 20-16. Leola Frederick 30-0 over Redfield in Redfield, and DeSmet leads Kimball White Lake 20-8 up in DeSmet. And finally in 9A, Platte Geddes leading Gayville Vollen 36-12 on the road. North Central 13-8 over Lemon Macintosh. Great Plains Lutheran up 20-0 over Waverly South Shore at Waverly South Shore. Number 1 Howard getting shut out on the road at Alcester Hudson 12-0. Upset alert there. Number 4 Warner at home over Castlewood in a low-scoring game, 13-6. Again, that game in the first half, nearing the halftime. Number 5 Harding County Bison up 14-6 over Gettysburg. Centerville up 14-0 over Dubrook up in White. Esteline Hendricks could be one of the big upsets of the night. Leads number 3 Wolsey Weston big at home, 30-12. Lyman over Dupree, 30-0 on the road. And the late games just getting underway. Timberlake in Ipswich, and number 2 Wall at Phillip. That's your scoreboard. We'll take a look at some first half stats when we come back on Big Sioux Media. Baltic trailing at Beresford 13-6.
We are getting ready every day to serve you, our customers. Woo!
Del Rapids Ace Hardware has everything you need to get your projects done. Stop in and visit their paint department for Benjamin Moore paint products. For your big projects, see their great selection of power tools and their line of steel products for your outdoor projects. Del Rapids Ace Hardware also has everything for your grilling needs, including Weber and Traeger grill models. Their knowledgeable staff will help with all of your home project questions. Del Rapids Ace Hardware is open 7 days a week and located at 1108 State Highway 77 in Del Rapids. Del Rapids Realty is the preferred hometown local real estate company of choice. Serving eastern South Dakota, broker-owner Cody Burgraff and Del Rapids Realty have the answer to all of your real estate needs, whether you're buying, selling, or investing. If you're in the market for residential, commercial, agriculture, or investment property and want the most knowledgeable, experienced, aggressive, problem-solving broker working for you, then call Cody Burgraff and Del Rapids Realty today for complete confidence that as a client of Del Rapids Realty LLC, you will see results, not excuses, producing, not pretending.
I started out here 31 years ago I didn't know where I was going to head, and I started out at the bottom, and now I'm the area manager, and it's because guys like Rob and Rick have a belief in me and what I do, and I take that with me every day to work, and I try to pass that on to my co-workers, that, you know, it's a great place to work, and my heart is in this place. It has been since the first day I started out here.
The locally owned Pizza Ranch in Del Rapids, owned by Marcy, Robert, and families, where you can meet with your family and friends for a great meal. Stop in and enjoy pizza, buffet, salad bar, chicken, with plenty of seating and a game room for the kids. Give them a call at 605-428-5967 for delivery or carry-out orders. Download the app and order online. The locally owned Pizza Ranch is open 11 a.m. to 8 p.m., lunch buffet from 11 to 3, and evening buffet from 5 to 8, located at 500 West 4th Street in Del Rapids. Welcome back on Big Sioux Media Sports Network at halftime here in Beresford, where the Watchdogs leading the Bulldogs 13-6 after our first 2 quarters of play. Matt Larson stepping in here for some stats for you here at halftime. These are very unofficial stats coming in here for our first 2 quarters of play. This is what I've got marked down so far through the first half. First, for the Watchdogs, we'll start with them. Ashton Oberly, 7 carries for 13 yards in the first half. Dexton Miller had a couple of carries for 14 yards and a touchdown. Malachi James, I've got him down for 3 carries, 59 yards, and a touchdown. Ashton Oberly also 5 of 7 passing for 28 yards, actually let me look at 29 yards. 5 of 7 for 29 yards passing. Couple of catches for James for 22 yards a catch. For Miller for 5 yards. And then Elias Perez, a couple of catches, 2 yards. in that first half for the Bulldogs. On the ground, Aaron Nordby with 5 carries for 31 yards and a touchdown. Jackson Gehring had 7 carries, 58 yards. And Dylan Runstad, I had him down for 4 carries, 24 yards in the first half. Quarterback Gavin Scottfold sacked a couple of times, had a total of 5 carries. Officially, I've got him marked for minus 16 yards with those couple of sacks. Also 0 for 2 so far in the passing game. The Bulldogs have turned the ball over a couple of times, once on downs after that opening drive. They went for it on 4th down, did not make it, and then the fumble at the end of the half. Neither of those resulting in any points for the Watchdogs. So those are some official, unofficial stats for the first half of play between these two teams. Again, we got a couple of other games going on the Big Sioux Media Sports Network tonight in this opening week of high school football in South Dakota. At halftime, St. Mary Cardinals leading Oldham Mona Rutland. No, we went through those scores. Cardinals 46-6 over the Raiders. That is on our Big Sioux Media Sports Network tonight. And also doing a game in DeSmet tonight against Kimball White Lake. The Bulldogs of DeSmet leading 22-8. Those games, again, on the Big Sioux Media Sports Network. We'll have 4 games coming up for you next Friday with our football coverage as we expand to 11A. We'll have both Tri-Valley and the Del Rapids Couriers jumping into our ball game list next week. Here again on Big Sioux Media. You can catch all of the Baltic Bulldog football games this season on the Big Sioux Media Sports Network. We'll take another quick timeout as the clock runs to 0. They'll add 3 more minutes up on the clock for the warm-up period here going into the 3rd quarter. So we'll take one last timeout, and when we come back, we'll have the start of the 3rd quarter on Big Sioux Media.
The Dells Theater is the area's best theater experience and value. This beautifully restored theater is located on Main Street in Del Rapids. Enjoy the pick of the best first-run hit movies at bargain prices and enjoy the best popcorn around. Contact the theater about renting time to play video games on the big screen. 428-3456 or online at dellstheater.com. Here's what's showing this week at the Dells Theater. Dells Electric is your helpful, friendly, and on-time electricians in Del Rapids and the surrounding area. Whether it's residential, new construction, remodel, or commercial services, Dells Electric is here to serve you. Dells Electric is also a Cummins generator dealer and handles in-floor heating installation. Let Mike Carpenter and his knowledgeable staff handle your electrical needs. Call Dells Electric at 605-428-5700.
Build life-saving fire trucks at Rosenbauer. Rosenbauer America has been building life-saving fire apparatus for over 40 years in the Sioux Falls area. On-the-job training is available for most positions, and we need dedicated, responsible individuals to help us on our mission of saving lives and protecting property. Every moment counts at Rosenbauer, and every member of our team is treated just as importantly. Be part of something that matters. Go to buildfiretrucks.com to apply today.
GMC, Chevy, Ford, Ram. Really, any given week, you'll find about all those models on the lot. The most popular brand is gas mileage. That's the truth. We're in Del Rapids. We don't have 50,000 cars driving by our store every day. And the internet and the phone is our bloodline. Golden West has been there and provided us with that from the very beginning.
This is my home.
Cheerleader with the most money raised at the
Welcome
end
you
of the
back to
season will be crowned
Beresford High
Santa
School,
and
the
Mrs.
opener of the
Claus.
South Dakota High School
Spreading
football
out and
season,
cheer
Baltic
with a
High
special
School
visit
football
to our
on
elementary
Big Sioux Media.
school.
I'm Zach Borg with Colin
Last
Boechler,
year,
Coach
we
Colin
raised over
Boechler.
$600
As
for
we
the
get set to
children.
kick off the
Very
second
good
half,
effort.
Baltic will kick it away, trailing Beresford 13-6 after a really good opening half. Defensive for a little bit, and then about 3 straight touchdown drives. As these two teams, except for what we think will be a pretty good finish.
Henderson
on the
carry,
kick
on the
return
return.
for Beresford. That's Ian Henderson getting that ball out.
Ball's be placed
About the
right on the 35.
35-yard line.
Will take over. First and 10.
Trying to get you some unofficial stats here in a little bit from that opening half. These teams very much dominated by the run game in that opening half. Passing attacks have been
yeah, it's a pretty narrow window. They don't have a lot of time back there.
Yeah. Well, we were told that both these teams' lines were going to be pretty young, and it showed there. But they've both been able to run the ball, although you can definitely credit some individual efforts as well for that, too. There's a sweep to the outside, off left tackle. That'll be swallowed up after a good initial gain. Hayden Schilling, I haven't called his name in a while, with maybe a yard or two around the left side. Actually, no yardage. I thought he got a little bit, but he got pushed back.
Yeah, he got lost 2 on that.
Again, we talk about how young the lines are, but I'm really impressed with what Baltic has been able to do. Really, the only success Beresford's had is because of Malachi James making some unbelievable runs.
If you watch on the defensive side, Kennedy and Breyer on the very right side, that's why it's stuffed up. Those are 2 big guys that stuffed that hole.
Ooh, Oberly passed out in the flat to Gehring, just blew up Peyton Hoffman, so good start so far defensively. It's going to be 3rd and 12. That pass was incomplete after that big shot.
I would say this would be, if it were me, maybe with 3rd and 12, run that counter to the high side of the field, because if you come over here, this is pretty good down here as far as defensive. They're playing kind of press coverage there on all the receivers.
No, I'm not sure I see. Now they throw it toward the middle of the field. That's caught impressively. That's going to be a first down to Ian Henderson, who had to reach back behind himself in the middle of the field.
See, on that play, the quarterback was looking for one guy. He took his 3 and it just got rid of it, and that was right in the middle of the field. I tell you, that's not used enough. Those crossing patterns, hard for those D-backs to go step for step, and it's just a safe play, and it's not really a jump ball ever. I really like those crossing patterns.
That's a 20-yard pickup. I think that's the first real downfield pass we've seen completed by either team today. The only stuff we'd seen really completed from Beresford was just stuff in the flats. Handoff, counter handoff, and that's going to go for big yardage. It's going to be a first down, about 11, 12 yards for Hayden Schilling.
Yeah, you can see Beresford's really working that right side on top of your screen.
Boy, that was just a back-breaking first down.
Yeah.
I mean, you were third and 12. I think it was third and 12, 3rd and 13. You're about to get him off the field, 3 and out, and they finally hit a pass, and it was a kind of a miraculous one at that.
Yeah.
And now they're into Baltic territory. 1st and 10 at the 36. Hand off to Schilling once again. Kind of another counter motion. Now he cuts back. Gets a little bit of yardage, about 3 yards maybe. Good job to get anything out of that.
Kennedy, gain of 2.
Minimal gain, so it'll be 2nd and 8, maybe a short 8. We've got a nice sunset here in Beresford. Got a bit of a country, I'm not sure where the country club behind us, I think. We're at the very top of the stadium here. There's, could play a little nighttime golf, or a little afternoon golf if they played a 1 o'clock game.
And all the flags straight down, not a breath of wind.
Enjoy that while we have it in South Dakota. 2nd and 8. Quarterback, no, it's a handoff inside to James. He's got room to the left side. He might go, and he will get into the end zone. Touchdown, Malachi James. Cannot be stopped tonight. 34-yard touchdown run.
So the offensive lineman right there they let that initial lineman block go, and then they got to the next level on the linebackers. And if he can the runner can get to that next level, he'll have either side and his speed takes over, but he waits for that block downfield, and you can see him just a second time we've seen it to this side.
Good little bit of a deceptive handoff, too. I kind of lost the fake there for a minute, but extra point on this one is good. And Beresford, on their opening drive, after being in a 3rd and long, converts with a 20-yard pass. And Malachi James goes for a 34-yard touchdown, his 2nd long touchdown run of the game. The Watchdogs have their biggest lead of the game, 20-6, with 9:22 remaining in the 3rd quarter. Baltic Bulldog football on Big Sioux Media. Bulldogs are going to need a big answer here, as this game is in a bit of a tipping point right now.
Yeah, and it's a much different game with Aaron Norby out. Didn't play defense there. If he's saving himself for offense, I don't know. At this point, if you're Baltic's coach, if you even try it, not the first game, depends on what the injury really is, but sometimes maybe it's a high ankle sprain, and sometimes those are worse than a broken leg.
He was so emotional after both times through his helmet. The last time we saw him, he had his head in his hands on the bench. I don't know. It's a shame, too, because he was, along with James, he was the clear star of this game.
Both sides.
Yeah, just a remarkable game. And Howard, by the way, as we just heard on the updates board, we got to check that, get an update on that the big game tonight in 11B, St. Thomas More and St. Thomas More and Sioux Valley. But here in Beresford, the Watchdogs have extended their lead to 26. Kickoff a squibber. That's fielded by Ben Erickson, and he will just kind of scurry toward the 35-yard line.
South Dakota High School Activity Association.
Baltics, even without Nordby, they've been able to move the ball a little bit, just haven't been able to finish a drive. Something's kind of tripped them up a little bit here and there, and it spelled disaster a few times.
Yeah. I think if you're going to make an adjustment here at halftime for Beresford, I said what I'm going to do is probably blitz my linebacker, my middle linebacker, try to get through the A or probably the A gap and disrupt that handoff a little better, but you may see the linebackers taking off here.
Kind of an interesting formation. Quick handoff inside. Nothing doing there. Can't quite tell who's in the middle of that pile.
Well, I know you had Ian Henderson. And
is that Nordby? I believe that actually is Aaron Nordby. He's back on the field. So we didn't think we were going to see him again, but he is out there. Do have an update, by the way, on that St. Thomas More game with 5 minutes to go. Fourth-ranked Cavaliers at home leading Sioux Valley 28-14. So St. Thomas More maybe closing in on, I don't know if you can really call it an upset when they're the home team.
Yeah.
It's this early, but they are leading the second-ranked team in the state.
Yeah, it's a long bus ride for Sioux Valley, though, too.
Well, Sioux Valley will be playing at Baltic in 2 weeks. Handoff inside to Nordby. Cuts up, and he is down the sideline, close to a first down. I don't know what. Did they bring in Mr. Miyagi? He looked pretty good on that run.
Yeah,
goodness.
That was a good one, actually.
Wax on, wax off.
Yep. But both teams pretty successful, bouncing it to the outside, designed to go through the, 2 or 5 hole and, just hitting that next level, getting to the sideline as quick as you can, stopping the clock. Not that it's important at this point, but you can see the biggest luck they've had so far is running it to the outside.
About an 11-yard pickup there. It's 3rd and 1. Now they got a heavy formation here, so you would think they're going to try and bull this one for the 1 yard. On 3rd and 1, fumble. We'll see if they have it. Beresford signaling they've got it on their sideline. I think that's maybe more reflexive. Believe Baltic has it back, but that just did not look good from the jump.
No, the quarterback started to back out a little bit early, and you could tell it was not going to be a quarterback sneak because he would have just leaned forward going in. I don't know what kind of play. We had a lot of reset and a lot of motion going on there.
That actually dropped them back about a half a yard because it was maybe 4th and a half yard. Now it's at least a full yard, maybe a yard and a half.
Yeah, and I think here, I don't think you pooch punt it when you're down by 14. I think you need 2 scores, and you got a quarter and a half. To me, you have to. Looks like they're in a punting formation.
Do you maybe think about snap to the up man? Something. I don't know. It'll be interesting. We're getting a timeout here.
And talk things over.
Timeout by the Bulldogs.
Essentially, Beresford haven't really been stopped in a while. The only time they were really stopped was the late play down. They did make him punt, but they moved the ball pretty well. They haven't had a 3-and-out since that opening possession. You get down 3 scores with their offense, and the fact they haven't been able to pass the ball, it's going to be pretty tough to stage a comeback. You almost. Yep. I think the big thing here is that you almost kind of have to just stick with the hot hand, which is Nordby, although we just don't know how he's feeling right now.
I don't know what kind of, looked like he cut pretty well off that left leg when he went on the high side of the field, though. But, coming up here, I think the coach for Beresford, you're in that hall, you say, okay, I'm going to bring everybody. right? I am going to bring everybody. I'm going to squeeze off my ends right towards the middle and try to get a hand. You want to go where the ball is. Don't go for the guy, right?
Yeah.
You're going to try to get out there, but see if
now it looks like they're going for it. This does not look like a punting formation.
Yep. They still might bring the house, though.
This is where I almost like to see if they had the capability to do an option pitch. If you felt daring enough, if they're going to bring everybody in the middle, pitch it out. Here's the inside handoff, and then they believe they have the first
close.
down.
Inside handoff to
Oh, they have
Gary.
2 different spots. One guy's at the 43. One guy's is at the 42. They're kind of slimming things out in the middle.
We don't exactly have that new NFL technology.
Well, I don't think it's this side judge's call here in the bottom of the field here.
We've got a Beresford coach signaling first down. Oh, now they're going to say first down, Beresford.
They will take
So
over
the Watchdogs hold.
From the Bulldogs.
I don't know. That's an interesting spot because from where I'm looking,
yeah.
I'm surprised they didn't bring the chains out.
Well, you just have this side judge here on the Beresford side. I saw right away the high guy had it a yard further, and you had the side judge here walking in on the 42, and I went, they're going to have to compromise and put it in the middle, and it was very close at that point. But the high side, he looked like he had a first down measured.
Interesting.
Or marked, yeah.
I'm more surprised they didn't do a chain measurement, too. I mean, just at least look at it. But nonetheless, Beresford ball, 1st and 10. The Baltic 42. And the Bulldogs now backed up against it. Quarterback keeper here gets into the second level after initially getting smashed. Oberle got a man down, and that is, thought it was Nordby for a second. It's actually Jack Wiseman.
You'll see a lot of teams throughout South Dakota use this same formation. I know I've seen it in 11A a lot. Is you put those 5 wide receivers way out wide, and you're in a shotgun, and it's just a delayed draw.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what he ran here. To spread that field out, and when you have a really good athlete up against linemen, and you see he had a pretty good gain considering he started 5 yards behind the line of scrimmage. So from where he caught it, he got 10 yards. But you'll see that a lot here, especially when your quarterback can move side to side really well, essentially like another running back there.
Looks like this might be a cramp. They're working the leg area of Wiseman. Got a quick timeout. Take a moment to look at the scoreboard once again. See if that St. Thomas More game. It looks like St. Thomas More is going to win. It's 28-14 with 2 minutes to go. Never say never, but feel pretty comfortable in that one. Haven't seen an update on that Elk Point Jefferson game in a while. I wonder if that's maybe been mercy rule. It's 34-13. Boy, Winter having all kinds of. To be fair, Hot Springs I think won a state title a couple years ago, so it's not. It's not as long of a trip for Winter as it would be anybody else, but nonetheless, Winter having a lot of trouble with Hot Springs on the road. Still 12-7 that game in the third quarter. Wagner up 13 on Chamberlain, 5th-ranked team in Class 11B. Some other games, really good one over in Weston Springs. Woonsocket, Weston Springs, Sanborn Central, Bridgewater, Emory Ethan, the Hyphen Bowl. It's Woonsocket, Weston Springs, Sanborn Central up 13-12 with about a minute left in the half in that one. So a couple of really good teams that usually have a say in the matters when the playoffs roll around. Hamlin been in control of that game with Britton Heckler. That game's at half, 22-0. Freeman Academy up 13-6 at Parkston. Viborg Hurley 44-0 over Canastota. That game almost at halftime. And now we are back to action here. 2nd and 4 at the 36 for Beresford. Quarterback almost sacks, slips out of it. Still going, breaks the tackle, does Oberle. Still running, might have a chance to go around the left end. Finally dragged down, but not before he gets inside the 15-yard line. Down to about the 14. Gehring finally bringing him down. But Ashton Oberle looking a little bit like Malachi James on that run.
Yeah, we have another guy down with a cramp. But, so the quarterback there, when you're running that fast, it's hard unless you're in a perfect position to make a tackle. If you're running out on side, you'll hit that right shoulder. The arm's not going to bring him down, right? He's got such a momentum coming there. Second tackle broke. And finally, he just did the right thing and came down, rather than take a bit hit out of bounds. Then he can keep the clock running. That's very smart thinking for a guy like that.
Another cramp, like you mentioned. Can't quite see who that is back there, but
number.
Now you're definitely in a danger zone now because you got some backups starting to come in and starting to see some broken tackles as well.
597.
Boy, I mean,
up here, right in front of the windows.
Baltic fan, you could really use a turnover right now.
Yeah.
If you could will that into existence. But looks like actually that was a Beresford player who appears cramped up. It was Ian Henderson who's walking off. So swings both ways, actually.
Yeah. Hey, rule of thumb for me. You got to drink one of those green Gatorade bottles after practice before you go home. I have to watch you drink it, and there's something to it. A lot of guys drink pickle juice. I know St. Thomas More.
Juice?
I know Wayne Sullivan, big on pickle juice, this guy. He's put it in freezer pops, and he had something going on, right? I mean, he's doing the right thing. And now he's over at
Oberly with the handoff. It's James once again spins, just stepped out of bounds. Otherwise, I think he might have had another touchdown. My goodness, he is just electric. Looks like he will have about a 5-yard pickup to the 9-yard line.
2nd and 5.
It's one of those places where I think having a shorter field probably hurts him more because he doesn't get space.
Doesn't get a chance to break it.
2nd and 5 at the 9-yard line. Beresford leading at home 20-6 over Baltic with 6:25 to go. Bulldogs desperate to get some kind of a stop or a turnover here. Snap to Oberly, hand to Schilling through the right side and into the end zone. Touchdown, Baltic.
Yeah, that was a perfect cutback right there. You had the tight end just kick that defensive end out, and he just slipped right behind him and had just a big room. All that momentum, took a hit, but you're not stopping that.
Baltic now trailing this game 26-6 after that touchdown run by Schilling. And that is now 19 unanswered. Potentially 20 pending this extra point. Well, kick is very low, but it will get through. For a moment, I thought it was going to get blocked.
Yeah,
Peyton Hoffman, interesting little weapon for Beresford when you can have a kicker at this level. He is 3 for 3 tonight on extra points. The only extra point they didn't get was when they faked it and actually dropped the 2-point conversion. But it is now 27-6. Beresford with a little breathing room. A game that's been close throughout, but they've kind of put some distance here in the second quarter on Baltic.
I think if you're Baltic, I think you walk away with this with a lot of positives considering where they were last year. Generally it looks like very good team chemistry. They all work well together out there. This is a point in the game where, you may get a little bit defeated. We'll see how they respond, but, their running game looks really well, particularly because of that young line. Those backs are very experienced, were able to make some good yardage. Now, often, you did have an injury there which slowed you down, but I think Baltic has a very positive season this year moving forward.
Well, I would be surprised if they're winless again. Obviously, we'll see what happens, too. There's still full fourth quarter to go. You still got 6 minutes in the third. So I don't want to write them off yet. Obviously, things looking tough. But, again, it's still a very young team. Nordby only a junior. Their quarterback, Skodevold, it's been a bit of a tough night. He's only a sophomore. Jackson Gehring, a senior. But they've got a lot of young players. I think there's been a marked improvement from last year when it was 40-8. And that game was never really in doubt up in Baltic. Kickoff is fielded by Cale Roach. He'll bring it back. Dancing around a little bit. He will get dropped right about at the 20.
Offense kick returned by Roach on the tackle is Dexter.
So, Nordby came out and actually looked pretty good. You have to, they're going to have to, the run game's been all they've really had. They haven't been able to get anything going passing-wise, but if they're going to have a shot to come back, you'd think they're going to have to throw something unless some big run holes open up.
Yeah, but
unless they can get some explosive stuff.
Yeah, it's all about how quick it gets out of the quarterback's hand. You don't have time to look around. He's already proven that. Then you're just tucking and trying to find some place to sit down and not get hit. And if you're Beresford, I think you're bringing them all because you know it's a passing situation in the future here.
There's the handoff to Jackson Gehring, gets around the right end. Good game. Bulls over Malachi James. Considering what James has done to him today, I had to feel pretty good for Gehring to give a little bit back.
Now the tight end over here, tight end on the bottom side, number 11, Jack Wiseman, had a great block on the defensive back to allow that to go to the inside, and I saw him limping when he got up, and he's the one with the orange, the yellow helmet there in the middle of the field.
We've got 2 players down on this.
And they're all cramped. You can tell by.
It's interesting because it's not a hot night. I mean, it's been there's no humidity, but again, it's game 1. You're going to have, especially when I know these teams have conditioned.
Yep.
Baltic's coaching staff has been doing a lot of morning conditioning too, which that actually makes a lot of sense considering how sweltering it can get in the afternoon. But I'm guessing I can't see the numbers. I think the Beresford player, too, was also the guy who I think he was the one who got blocked, taken out on that block you're mentioning.
I believe it's Ian, yep.
And that's
Ian Henderson.
Yeah, that's the second. Yeah, it is Ian Henderson. That's the second time he's been down, so he's been dealing. The cramps have been recurring for him.
And that's just something. I don't know if you ever had a cramp in your calf leg or any kind. It's always the next day. Man, that thing is sore, and, man, it's
I'd love to tell you I love to tell you at level in high school in Colorado I played that much, but my cramps were probably from riding the bench too much.
Oh, come on.
Well, I had 2 Division I defensive tackles in front of me, and I'm 5 foot nothing, so that was but no, it's the worst one's when you get the bone bruise. I had that when I was a junior, and I had that when I was a junior, and that lasted a year.
Yeah, like a contusion kind of. Did you get like a lump on the outside of your muscle too, or just?
All I remember was it was actually, at that time I was playing mostly, it was a JV game, and the nice thing here is you got a grass field. I don't see any bald spots, but Colorado is the second highest level of football. It'd be like AA here, and in a state like that, they're sharing fields with like 3 other schools, and I got my knee driven into a bald spot on the field, like just dirt essentially, and it didn't hurt as bad in the moment, but it hurt for
when the
weeks
adrenaline
and
wore off.
months.
Yeah,
that lasted like a year. That was luckily if that's the worst pain you've ever gone through, you haven't been through much pain. But bone bruises are not a thing to poo-poo, and this injury for Baltic has been might be a little more than a cramp. He's been down for quite a while and needs several people here to help him off.
Yeah, it was his left leg he was favoring. Didn't even put any weight on it. And
that is Cooper Breyer, the senior, the center and defensive tackle.
I thought at number 11, he was the one limping out there too.
Yeah, Wiseman's had several. He's had several instances tonight where he's been down. But
you still got 18 minutes to play.
This has been the game has really slowed down. We've had more scoring drives and more cramping. The first quarter flew by. Of course, these are 2 teams that like to run. The passing game has not been an issue. We've not had hardly any passing tonight. After all that, we had a big run to get out to the 47, and Baltic has a 1st and 10. Handoff inside to Gehring, slips past a man who got right through. Now he cuts to the left. And that's going to turn into a positive gain. That's downright miraculous that he was able to slip that, because I believe that was, I think it was maybe Connor Newmeyer. I can't tell who was in there. Somebody got in there right away for Beresford and looked like he was going to drop him for about right behind the line of scrimmage. Ends up being a 3-yard game, where it looked like it was going to be about a 3-yard loss. So 2nd and 7, ball is at the 40, and what really is a must-score drive for Baltic. Here's a rare passing play. Now he's going to try to tuck and run, spun around. You're right. There was a man wide open downfield for Baltic, but just couldn't throw it.
That's going to bring up 3rd and...
Unfortunately, Gavin Scoville just...
if he would have just threw it in the air.
Yeah, just got to get it out. I mean,
at this level, it's just critical at this level. You just don't It's not like playing on a game or watching TV. You got to have those quick plays to a designated receiver. It's got to get out of there.
I almost wonder if it was a signed draw from it. Scovold passing, that's dropped by Erickson. Well, I mean, that was finally they got the quick pass out, but unfortunately Erickson just couldn't quite reel it in. And that'll bring up 4th and 9. And I think we will probably see a punt, even though it could be 4-down territory. But just with that inability to get much in the pass game, I can't imagine they're going to try it. Be Wiseman back to punt here. And after that initial big run, that's the other thing, too. These cramps kind of kill the momentum, unfortunately.
Yep.
Good punt away here. James calling for the fair catch. Fumble! Looks like Baltic may have it. Let's see.
The punt is muffed.
Ball was muffed by James, and Baltic has it. Well, said that the last drive they needed a turnover, and they finally get one.
Yeah, that's good. You know, the burner was right down there. His job, just go to the ball, and because you never know, even in a fair catch, if he touches the ball and doesn't, even if he puts up his hand, it bounces off him, you can still get that. Yeah, that's a great play, heads-up play, and a good hustle for him.
So Baltic with the football, 1st and 10 at the Beresford 31. The snap is on the ground. It's picked up. This is just a disaster.
Bad snap.
Jackson Gehring falls on it back at about the 46.
Gonna be by number
That's going to be a 15, 16-yard
loss.
loss.
Ball's gonna go back to
Somebody might have missed the snap count on that one.
Yeah, Mike, because it just rolled on the ground. And
just a bizarre. They're actually giving him about
2nd and 23.
It's actually a bit of a generous spot there because I think it's back at the.
You're looking at 24 yards there, eyeballing it, 23.
Yeah, 2nd and 23. So a 13-yard loss on just a busted play, something or other. Well, that's a rough play. Another fumbled snap, and Scovold's going to be sacked. So
snap kept by Scott Bold.
Just a rough couple of plays after getting what looked like maybe a potentially game-changing turnover. They just have not been able to figure out what's going on on their exchanges. I don't know if it's a nerves or just maybe a missed snap count at this point. That's a 3-yard loss. It'll be 3rd and 26 from the 47.
Yeah, but when you sweat a lot, you get slippery, and it touches your hand doesn't dry off. You can see this. I mean, those linemen, they look tired.
Yeah. Oh, right, coming right through. Somehow got the handoff away, and this is a big run. Still going is Gehring, and he might have the first down.
Yeah, he had about 8 yards after contact just by keeping his head down and feet moving, and I believe he's only going to be 4 or 5 yards short.
Oh, I think they'll definitely go for this. No question now.
You have to.
And there's a bulldog. There's a watchdog back, and I'll be honest. I thought for sure Scovold had gotten sacked. I did not see him slip that ball. That's a great. It's been a rough night for Gavin Scovold, but that's probably his best play of the night, slipping that handoff off.
Yeah, the ball's just gonna be slippery. It's there's just nothing you can do, and.
Well, we also wonder. I mean, it's with the cramps we're seeing again, it being the first night, but I wonder how much hotter it is down in that field because we're up at the top of the stadium. It's not that
And no breeze to cool you off a little and dry you off a little, and your pants are wet, your shirt is wet, everything. It's just soaked, and
field's probably a little more humid than what we're seeing. We're getting up here, but yeah, it's.
You don't know how wet that grass is either.
Yeah, it's definitely. Kind of see a little mist around the lights a little bit. I mean, it's. So, yeah, just another cramp there. That's one of the Beresford players, number 74, Cameron Mullenix, junior lineman.
It looks like we got a penalty here.
So let's see what they
block in the back.
Ooh, that would be a crusher. Very late penalty, too. I never saw the flag.
The back judge dropped, or the referee dropped it.
We're going to have 3rd and 34.
Oh, my goodness.
3rd and 34.
Other than that, how was the play, Miss Lincoln? Just not their drive, unfortunately, but maybe they can break one here. I mean, we saw the last play, even though it was a block in the back. Man. Finally got the break they were looking for, and it's just not been able to. Failure to launch.
You can see how many people there are on the line of scrimmage. They're going to bring it all right here.
Yep. Scovold to throw, and this is going to be stopped dead. It looks like we may have a false start. Either going to be a false start or encroachment. Maybe a procedure, too. We'll see.
But that was a good, he got the ball up.
Yeah.
But he had single coverage up top, one-on-one, and that's their.
And it actually is an offside.
Okay.
That's going to be 5 yards. That's going to bring up 3rd and 29.
We'll get there eventually. This thing is.
Just need 6 more of those, and we got a first down.
Oh. Kind of the feeling that usually when it's you think procedure, but when you had that many people, like you said, they were going to bring the house,
Yeah.
you thought they were maybe going to get a little over-aggressive.
Yep.
And you can kind of afford that when it's 3rd and forever.
Yep.
3rd and 29, Scovold again.
Stacey's
Going deep.
playing way deep.
Looking for Erickson, jump ball. Oh, off his hands, incomplete. Had the right idea, though.
Pass intended.
And when you're down there on the far hash, throwing it, I mean, that's what, in football terms, that's probably a 30-yard pass, but it's going to be like 45 because you're going across the field, and the ball just hung up there. But you have Beresford here playing a very deep safety, preventative-type place, so you're going to throw into double coverage no matter where you throw in that scenario.
Yeah, I mean, even if he had caught that ball, they still would have needed about another 10, 15 yards for about a first down. So Baltic will punt it away. James back again after muffing the last one. He'll let this one bounce. Takes a bit of a Beresford hop, but will be down at about the 20-yard line.
12, Roach. Ball is going to be placed
So,
on the 21-yard line.
21-yard line there. I will say that's a nice bit of improvement you want to see from if you're the Baltic coaching staff from Scovold, getting the ball out of there. Granted, there wasn't quite the same level of rush, but looks like he throws a nice ball he threw.
Yep.
Got it out of there quicker, did a little more decisive, didn't try to do anything crazy, just got the ball out, threw a nice football, gave his receiver a chance to catch it.
Yep. When it's at its high point there, who was guarding him? Malachi, 6'3".
Yeah.
Just jumped up, knocked it straight down. I mean, that's.
Here's the handoff, and it's going to be swallowed up. They're going to stop the forward progress. See who was in. Turn around there. There, nice. Here's a name we haven't called yet, I believe. That's Elias Oakley getting in there to stop him for a loss of 3. Elias Oakley for Baltic. He is a sophomore, 5'6", 155. I appreciate you, Elias, because that's about my height.
Well, you're going to see Baltic here. If I'm the coach, maybe started this a little earlier, but, if you got to rip the ball out now. You got to try to create fumbles.
Turnovers. Yep.
You just do, and, you necessarily aren't thinking that way in the first half, but when you're just running out of time, you've got to scrape that ball out of there.
Here's the rollout, caught in the middle. That's their big wideout, Ian Henderson.
I think the ground caused the fumble there. I think it's down.
Yeah, that's what the coaching staff signaling as well. Looks like that will be a first down. Henderson with the first down on the catch from Oberle.
But, whenever you have the quarterback who's a right-hander, roll out to his left. He did a great mechanic in spinning his body, lining up his shoulders to the center of the field and hitting that receiver. That's hard to do for a high school kid.
Well,
pretty good arm.
We'll see obviously this is game 1, so you can't really make too many judgments, but as Coach Ebert said, he likes his skill. It's a flip from last year when their line was very experienced. The skill players weren't. This level, there's some impressive pieces here early on.
A little reverse here to Malachi.
Nice tackle inside.
Tripped up by
that was
15.
Braden Hansen. Nicely done. He stopped that from being a potentially big game, limits him to a yard. Yeah, I'm impressed by what we're seeing early on from these. Again, they started 2-0 last year, so you can only read so much into game 1. But some impressive skill players right off the bat. They can, if that line can gel, and that's kind of what Coach Ebert was telling me. Their line gels. They got a chance to be something special to what they were a couple of years ago when they were They had an 8-win season. They were 8-3, 7-4.
Yeah, and they were in 11A for a couple of those years too.
That'll be the end of the third quarter. Beresford, with a couple of touchdowns, has put some distance between themselves and the Baltic Bulldogs in the season opener. It is 27-6. The Watchdogs lead the Bulldogs. You're watching Baltic Bulldog football on Big Sioux Media. The start of the season. We'll be back for the fourth quarter in a moment.
Del Rapids Lumber, located at 1208 North Highway 77 in Del Rapids, is your one-stop shop for all of your home improvement needs. They also have a wide variety of decking options to choose from, so you're sure to find something that fits your needs. They have everything you need to complete your home improvement projects, from lumber and hardware to paint and tools. They only sell the highest quality products, so you can be confident that your home improvement project will be a success. Come on down to Del Rapids Lumber today and let them help you make your home improvement dreams a reality.
Are you an enthusiastic sports fan? Want to have fun and get in on the action?
Heck, yes, that'd be awesome.
Have great attention to detail? Want to stay active?
Definitely.
Want to give back to the student athletes in your community?
Obviously, yes.
Then you'd make an excellent high school sports official. We need more officials in South Dakota, because with no high school officials, there are no high school sports. Sign up today at highschoolofficials.com.
Viborg Hurley continues to be up on Canastota, 44-0.
Started the fourth quarter from Beresford High School, campus of Beresford High School. Season opener on Big Sioux Media for the Baltic Bulldogs. Zach Borg with Coach Colin Boechler. A game that was 13-6 at halftime in favor of Beresford. Malachi James and Ashton Oberly helping the Watchdogs pull away a bit in that third quarter with a couple of touchdowns. 27-6 as the Watchdogs for the second straight year look to defeat the Bulldogs in the season opener. Oberly rolling to his right, chased, fires, pass caught by Henderson. That'll be another first down to about the 45 of Baltic.
That is just an athletic play. He shed one tackle, kind of got pivoted around and kept his eyes downfield. And the receiver did a good job coming back to the ball, and that's why that happened. You had two receivers ended up at the 40-yard line, and one of them came back, and he was wide open. And good see, good throw, and good gain.
Scary thing for the rest of 11B. Malachi James is a senior, but Oberly and Henderson are both juniors. Yeah. So that'll be a tandem that'll be tough to stop in the next year. A quick little jump pass there from Oberly. He had a man right in his face, Braden Hansen, and he ends up hitting Elias Perez.
Second and 5.
Bit of an awkward play, but picks up 5 yards. So 2nd and 5 with 11 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. They updated this, by the way, as we were in break, but St. Thomas More, ranked 4th. 11B has indeed defeated second-ranked Sioux Valley 28-14 out in West River, in Rapid City. Sioux Valley, by the way, will be playing at Baltic in 2 weeks. 2nd and 5 at 39. Oberly movement, and this might be the
flag on the play.
It's going to make it a 2nd and short.
Yeah, it might even be could be first down too.
Close.
They're going to be very short, second very short or first down.
5 yards.
I think you're right, though. We'll probably. That vaunted second and very.
That's going to lead to 2nd and inches.
Hey, you see for Beresford right now, the coach is, in my opinion, doing something well. You have this kind of a lead. Why not work on your passing plays? You need this kind of live action, and you've seen the last 3 plays, with the exception of one. He's doing that, and you got to work on them. I think you're going to see a lot more of that.
Nearly gets sacked. Going to the left-hand side, and we'll get out of bounds the first down.
Yeah, that was a design quarterback sweep on that. Just had to make it, that half a yard, gained about 7.
That's going to be good enough for a Watchdog.
The junior Braden Hansen for Baltic, he's just got to be frustrated right now because he's been this close to about 2 tackles for a loss. One sack, like you said, that was design. That would have been a tackle for a loss, but he is, even though this game seemingly trending toward being out of reach, his tank is still on full. He's just come up a little bit short.
Yep.
So 1st and 10 for Beresford as they lead this game 27-6, 10-11 to go. Ball 30 of Baltic. Hand off to James. Great tackle there by Elias Oakley. As he does what very few have been able to do in this game, bring down Malachi James. Just got him down by the ankles for a 4-yard loss.
Now you look at his stats. He's a sophomore, 5'6". Sometimes when you have a little guy like that and he's quick, he can get under, when those linemen stand up, he's right down there. He comes in super low and he trips people because he's already low. And that's exactly what you saw there. That was a come from the outside linebacker spot on a blitz to do that.
It's been a tough defensive half, but he's been a nice bright spot for them. And he really called his number a lot this half. I don't remember him a whole lot in the first. So 2nd and 14, Oberly to pass, and Flair out on the right side. Here's another number we haven't called, number 81. I don't even have an 81.
I saw that too. We didn't have an 81 earlier. But you had Elias Perez making a...
They're calling it Tegan Nyhog, who's actually 82 on our roster, but we hope it's Tegan. That might be...
Yeah.
I hope it's... If it's not Tegan Nyhog, we apologize to you, young man.
Yep.
But that was a 9-yard pickup, so it'll be 3rd and 5.
Yeah, good downfield blocking by Elias Perez. You know, on those screens like that, it all relies on the guy in front of you. And not only that, but you have to make sure you don't get a holding penalty as the blocker.
3rd and 5 at the 25. High snap, does get it down. Hand off inside, it's fumbled.
Just took it right away from him.
Baltic has the ball.
Inside handoff is
2nd turnover, Tyler Kennedy rips it away.
By number 60, Cooperus.
They're saying it's Cooperus. I thought it was Kennedy.
No, it is Cooperus. Yeah, number 6. He just ripped it out of his hands. Started with a high snap, so that delays the guy coming out of the backfield. And didn't have time to quite secure that on the side.
That's the first true defensive takeaway for Baltic. Of course, the other one was the muffed punt. But what a way for that to happen. What a statement for Baltic again.
And anytime you can see a lineman run with the ball, huh? That's always fun.
I felt like he was maybe a moment away from maybe breaking that for 6. Here's the sweep to the outside. That'll be a nice little pickup, about 5 yards on the run.
Carry by Runstad. Pushed out of bounds
Dylan Runstad. Yeah, for a moment there, I thought he was going to have daylight. That's every lineman's dream.
He did see some daylight, but...
Make that 2. Gain of 2. 2nd and 8.
Not quite as many yards as I thought on that one. I gave him about 2 yards.
Yeah, hard to tell over there, stepping out of bounds.
A night has fallen here in Beresford, as you can tell on our broadcast. And crisp night at that. 8:27 to go in this one. 27-6. Again, it's going to be a tall order, but Baltic's still fighting. There's a fake. Scovold under pressure. He is going to be sacked. Big hit. Tate Lyle has had another guy that we called his number a lot here in the second half. Tate Lyle with some big hits. That's going to be a 6-yard loss.
You know, there's no time for the quarterback to let those plays and those receivers get downfield. Those are, with the way he's getting tackled back there, sacked, those routes need to be shorter, more crossing, and you know you don't have time for anything else to develop. So it's got to be just a little bit tweaked and a little bit shorter. You can't have your wide receivers downfield with lack of time.
Kind of a little surprised they didn't have him run a quarterback draw or two with him. He looks like he's got a good, decent little runner. There's the handoff. That's going to be bottled up and thrown back down after maybe a push forward for a moment.
Inside carry by
Gehring.
Gehring.
It'll be 4th down after maybe a yard or 2.
Believe they're bringing in the punt team. Get rid of it.
So good job by Baltic to get that punt, but unfortunately unable to get much yardage offensively as the clock winds with 7:10 and counting in the season opener.
Both shirts, I believe.
Couple men back for, excuse me, folks. Henderson and James back. Here's the punt, high in the air. It's Henderson now. He's going to let this one bounce. Takes a nice Baltic hop inside the 30, down between the 29 and 28-yard lines.
That's where they'll take over. 1st and 10.
A couple more scores here as we near the conclusion of this season opener. course, 11B and 9-man, all the openers on this week. 0/1. Everybody else will get underway next week. Again, the big one tonight in 11B, St. Thomas More winning over Sioux Valley 28-14. Elk Point Jefferson 47-13 over Parker, just south of here, down in Elk Point. Game late in the third. There's Overly, gonna draw up the middle, pick up
Overly on the keeper.
about 5
up
yards.
To the 34.
Yeah, you're just probably going to see
A lot of runs.
Well, that, you're going to see, dive, a dive option maybe like that. You could get a draw. You may do some of those jet sweeps to try to get to the inside, maybe practice cutting it back into the inside because you want to keep that clock going. So you're telling your kids if you do get to the outside, don't go out. So everything's a learning thing in a game, and it's good you're doing so many of these different variables in game one.
2nd and 5. High snap again. Gets it down. There's a flag down on this one. Schilling breaks the tackle. Spins out of it. Still going. Hard running. We'll see if this actually ends up amounting to anything because there's a flag down. But again, commend the effort on that one. Check out the penalty where that was. Maybe a hold. Yeah, I think it's coming back.
The Watchdogs.
Also, the one thing I've been really impressed with Baltic on their run defense, they've had a lot of guys in the backfield, it seems, tonight. I think that's something you can definitely build off of if you're the coaching staff.
Yep.
That's that scoreboard, by the way.
Ball's going to be placed on the 24.
That was the Wagner, by the way, pulling away at home over Chamberlain. It's 32-6 in that winner game. They're now 4 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. Hot Springs has the ball, trailing 18-14, trying to upset the number 1 ranked team in the.
Yeah, that middle linebacker there for Baltic, number 5, he's going all way. He'll step back, but he's going to go right away and try to get in there. Nice pickup by the offensive lineman.
Overly's pass caught. It's going to be short of the first down. Nice pickup. Let's see who caught that. I think that was Henderson again. No, actually that's Perez. My mistake there. So picks up about half that 15 yards. It should be about 3rd and 6, 3rd and 7. As we tick down to 5 minutes to go in this one. Beresford seemingly on their way to a season-opening win unless we get some real craziness here in the next 5 minutes.
But other than a couple long runs by
Malachi James, yeah.
This game would be a lot closer.
This game, the score is going to be deceptive of what it really was, especially compared to last year when it was 40-8.
Yep.
I think a lot for Baltic to build off of. We're going to get timeout here, it looks like, from the Baltic coaching staff.
Bulldogs!
I mean, again, it's going to be a bit of a hollow thing. You don't want to play the moral victory card, especially when you are coming off a winless season. But they were right with it, and who knows how much different this game would be if Nordby doesn't get hurt in the middle of that quarter. I mean, it was kind of a duel. You don't want to break it down to a basketball-style one-on-one, but it had really been a duel between him and James, and unfortunately that kind of changed it both on offense and defense for Baltic.
Now, if I'm the coach in the huddle here for Baltic, what do I tell my kids? I said, number one, we want to win this series. It's 3rd down. They have a long way to go, but we need to focus. Don't look at what the scoreboard says. There's still a little chance to get a little win here and expound on that when we get to the defensive side. So, you still need that intensity. You still need that focus. Win these 2 downs, and that's what we're going for. Start small and give them something positive to walk out of here with tonight.
Baltic home opener next week against Flandreau. That game will be a 7 o'clock start at Baltic High School. Start of a 2-game homestand. Of course, they'll host Sioux Valley the following week. For the Watchdogs.
And I'll be, I think I'm down in Dakota Valley with Del Rapids Pub.
That's always a physical, hard-hitting game. It's going to be low scoring. Overly back to pass. Now he's chased to his right side. He's going to come up short of the first down, pick up positive yardage.
Overly on the keeper.
It's going to be
down to the 37 yard
fourth and about 3 yards here. So we'll see if they maybe go for this or they punt. I think they might just punt the ball away. There's 4:27 and counting. Beresford, by the way, they will be home next week as well against Parker. So Parker having a tough time tonight down in Elk Point Jefferson. And remember, as I said last year, Beresford got off to a 2-0 start as well with essentially the identical schedule now.
By the Bulldogs.
Timeout from Baltic.
I think they were set up for one of those little pooch punts. But, I said earlier, you know what, you want to win the series, and on third down,
they did.
They did pretty well stopping him. I mean, that's a quarterback draw, and he's shifty back there, and we've seen him gain a lot of yards, and he was headed right for the, trying to get to the 40, and that's just a great effort. That's what you're talking about in the huddle. Get these kids motivated. With the score like that, you have to do something.
Well, now
and you got to give them a little bit of fight left,
Long season, you're not going to – if you win every game, it was a heck of a season, but more often than not, you got to build toward playing your best football by the end of it.
Yep. And I think when they watch film on Sunday or Monday, they're going to find a lot of reasons why they're good. You take out the injuries, the cramps, and you move forward in your season. There's a lot of positive on Baltic to really move forward and have some good battled games this year.
Well, looks like maybe a pooch punt here coming up from the quarterback, Oberly. It's over his head, the snap. Chance for maybe to get a turnover here. Oberly chased. He will be dropped for a big loss. This halted forward progress. So they're going to get plus field position here. And you want to talk about getting those little wins in a game that's maybe gotten away from you. The big win I think they would get would be getting another touchdown on the board because, again, a year ago, much different situation. You only got the one score in that 40-8 loss.
Yep.
I mean, like we said, if Malachi James has been kind of the real difference in this game with those two game-breaking runs, it's going to be a closer game than what the scoreboard indicates. You get one more touchdown, I think you feel really good about a lot of things in this game.
No, I think the center on that, he was right on point. If the kicker would have been back in normal position, but he was up so far it went high,
Well, it's your
he was up
quarterback,
far. Yeah, I mean, he was not 5 yards deep to kick the ball, and I think just didn't take enough off that.
Baltic with best starting field position of the day at the 27. Quick pass out to the right side. That's Erickson. He'll dance around a little bit and pick up about 4, maybe 5 yards. Got to feel good for Ben Erickson, too. He's had a couple of tough ones out there. Hauls in his first catch of the night.
Yeah, no screenplays. You see when he caught the ball, it's natural. Your momentum wants to take you out of bounds. But when he cut back, because that's where his linemen are, that's where his people are going to make those blocks. He gained 5 yards when he caught it with no gain. So he turned those, and it's all about the linemen being over there to make that wall.
2nd and 5, ball at the 23. 3:25 remaining in this ball game. Baltic trailing 27-6 against Beresford. Handoff on the inside. Minimal yardage there. Believe that's Elias Oakley.
The initial hit there was by Schilling.
Schilling got to him first, and they will drop him back for about a yard at least.
24 brings up
so it'll be 3rd and 6.
Let's help out that Watchdog defense.
Obviously, with as much as they do want to get a touchdown with the matter pretty much concluded, I don't think we're going to see any more of Nordby and maybe Gehring at this point.
No.
Although, so much for that. There's Gehring in the backfield, but Nordby, obviously, at this point, you've got to save him for the rest of the year.
Yep.
3rd and 6. Fakes the throw, now going deep. He's got a man. Caught by Erickson. Down to the 5. Reaches for the goal line. They will mark him down around the 4-3-yard line. So a nice-looking play there between Scovold and Erickson.
I just noticed how the ball came out super quick, and he knew where it was going right away, and really good throw. Only, to the high point like that, never gave a D-back a chance to go up there and even catch it, to even get close to it, right at its high point. That was a great catch.
Ball down to the 2, so 1st and goal. Here's the handoff inside. That's Gehring. He spins, and he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Baltic. Bulldogs get their first touchdown since early in this game when they got within 1 point. As we said, even though it does not appear they're going to get the win tonight, a lot to build off of, especially in this 4th quarter with a couple of nice stops, getting a couple turnovers, and even more so, I think that last passing play is what you can certainly build off of.
Yep. And you watch film, you're going to understand why that was good. And then next week, not only do they get to watch themselves and the changes they need to make, but they'll have film on their next opponent, and that may be a little bit better on their scheme for the next game.
Bulldogs go for 2 here. Scovold back to pass, throws it high in the air, and that's batted down. Try and get a number on who got that for the Watchdogs.
That pass broken up.
Again, it's 15. Micah James. Well, I mean, again, obviously it was a tough night mostly, and again, you got a younger offensive line. So the pass protection, I think you can see where it struggled earlier in the game, and we'll see what happens the rest of the way, because obviously when things got out of hand, maybe things changed. They might have some different players in, but that connection with Erickson, and Erickson had some tough moments too in this game when he did get open, but I mean, that's a 6'1" guy.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, you got that high. He can high point that ball. That's a connection where if they're going to have some success this year, you got to go to that.
Yeah.
You got to go to that well quite a bit. And Scovold looks like he can throw a good ball.
Yep.
I think that's definitely something they can work on, and just a moment like this, even though it's not going to lead to a win,
yeah,
if they can get that going, they're going to point to that, and maybe that throw, that play, and say maybe that's where they started to develop it.
Yeah. I look at, Baltic right here. There were super bright spots for this young offensive line, because these backs, they did have room at times, right? And so you take those little things. What did we do right? What was the scheme? Where was the play? Where do we need to run? But man, I think for the most part, being young and questionable, I really like the line, the job that the linemen have done for Baltic.
And defensive line too. I really liked. I mean, they were in the backfield quite a bit for a lot of running plays, and you really have to credit a lot of it to Malachi James making some unbelievable plays. There's an onside kick. Ball was loose for a moment, but Beresford does fall on it. 2:28 to go. So we'll see if
recovered by number 13, Peyton Hoffman.
Says Baltic is out of timeouts.
Right at the 50.
Remember Baltic using their timeouts. Maybe they were injury timeouts, I guess. But I would assume at this point Beresford is probably just going to run the clock out, maybe. 2:28 to go. Ball will be at the 50. Starting to see some different numbers get in as well now for the Bulldogs. We've got a backup quarterback now in as well for at least a backup. A couple backups in as well. Here goes Oberly. Eases around the left side, and big gain.
Oberly on the keeper.
Yeah, you just want to stay inside. I don't know if you did it. That's a move the chains. We'll see what the referee does here if he winds the clock.
15-yard gain. Yep.
He stayed in bounds.
Well, actually wound the clock a little early because they're still moving the chains. I think they're ready to get out of here.
As long as the ball's set, let's go.
Yeah. We had a long enough third and second quarter.
Yes.
Definitely tell. It looks like a lot of the number one offense is still out there for Beresford, but there's definitely some smaller guys out there getting some varsity time for the Bulldogs, who, again, as I mentioned, will be home next week for Flandreau. Start of a 2-game homestand. There's the handoff inside to the fullback. Haven't seen him run for a while. That's Mr. Dexton Miller, who had a touchdown run earlier in this game as well. It's about a 5-yard pickup as we get down to near the 1-minute mark.
On the 30, 2nd and 5.
I was in a lot of battles like this as a coach where I'm up a lot, so you really have to play that dance. You don't want your starters in. Well, you kind of do, but there's always that, fear of getting hurt and then blowing out and then the crowd and everybody else getting. But at the same time, when you put someone else in, like I say, a JV player, he's going to work his hardest and run just as he wants to prove himself too. So sometimes, you're still going to have that burst of energy when you're up by so much.
Oberly reverses field. He's going to be dropped. And once again, in on that with a couple other guys, Elias Oakley.
I believe that will be the last play here.
You're right.
They're going to set it right now, so they got 40. Yep.
I imagine part of the reason those number ones are out is it's been kind of a struggle for them in this fourth quarter. They probably just, and again, we mentioned all the big plays made by Malachi James. It hasn't really been that smooth otherwise, though. So
a little clunky. You expect that in the first game, but
otherwise, just probably trying to make sure they get a little momentum going. So, again, maybe a credit to Baltic. Not a situation trying to run up a score, just trying to get a little momentum. So we will maybe see one more play here, 10 seconds and counting.
I always wonder how many of these kids will be at the Orthopedic Institute tomorrow morning.
Oberly
getting their bumps and bruises taken care of.
Oberly takes a knee, and that will do it.
27.
Baltic falls in their season opener. Much different than last year. Final in this one, 27-12. Malachi James with a couple of highlight reel touchdown runs. Really the difference in this one as Beresford wins the Battle of the Dogs for the second straight year, but much better contest, much more well-played one this time around, and I think both these teams have a lot to look forward to based on this one, a lot to build off of, and
I think the coaches can go back in the, right after this game, go back in the huddle, and they really can say, you guys gave it your all. I mean, they left it all on the field with these cramps, these injuries coming in. I mean, you got to be, as a coach, you got to be proud. Win or lose, you guys never gave up. And, man, that was a tough game, especially in the trenches. Some hard hits, what you want to see in football. But I think you can't hang your head you can't hang your head at this kind of a game. It was really positive for Baltic.
I would say if you were name players of the game, obviously I think the one for, although I do think you have to kind of give a secondary shout out to Oberly and Henderson.
Yes.
They really came on late. I mean, obviously the number one star was Malachi James for Beresford. I mean, we're getting some stats totaled up here as we wrap up our show. Here we go. Unofficially, Matt Larson giving us our statistics here. Try to but he had to have gone well over 100 yards. I think that's not much. I mean, at least one was about 45. The other was 34. I know that.
There you go.
You want to say it? But definitely the player of the game, Malachi James. Hard to kind of say otherwise, too. Get Matt on here.
All right. Super unofficial. Super unofficial.
It's week one. This is training camp for us.
I can find a roster. Here we go.
Yeah.
All right. Unofficially, I have Baltic, Aaron Nordby, 8 carries, 40 yards, and a touchdown. Jackson Gehring, 12 carries, 66 yards, and a touchdown. And Dylan Runstead had about 5 carries, 26 yards. Gavin Scottvold finished 2 of 6, 27 yards, both catches to Ben Erickson there late in the game. Beresford. Again, these are super unofficial. I've got Ashton Oberly for about 15 carries for 60 yards. A couple of touchdowns for Malachi James tonight. A touchdown for Hayden Schilling on about 45 yards. And a touchdown for Dexton Miller on 19 yards. And I had Ashton Oberly about 11 of 14 for 106 yards passing tonight.
Good performances, and like I said, Malachi James, I think right away establishing himself as one of the, Coach Ebert told us he was going to be a player to watch in this game, and I think he's put his name out there as a player to watch in Class 11B, probably moving forward. They will host Parker next week. Baltic be back home for their home opener against Flandreau, and if we were to name a player, it would have probably been Mr. Nordby and probably still could be for Baltic. I mean, if he hadn't gotten hurt there at the very end, but a lot of other candidates. I mean,
I would pick number 22, Jackson Gehring.
Yeah.
Because he had to step up in Norby's role a little bit, and when he took that injury, and really gritty player, ran the ball well, head down, legs movement, got a couple extra yards after contact on almost every play. I mean, those are big shoes to fill behind Norby, but I think he did really well doing it.
Any other final thoughts? I mean, like you said, I think we kind of covered a lot of it, but again, these are two teams that we'll see what happens. I don't know if very early every team right now that's playing is far from their final form as we talk about a march to a Dakota Dome, but I think both of these teams gave everybody here reason to think they're going to be a lot better than what they were a year ago. That was a bit of a low bar, obviously, when one was winless and the other one 2 games, but I think reason to think both of these teams are going to have much better seasons and a few wins in the win column.
And I think, looking forward as, if you're a Baltic team, you got to look at what kind of game does this do for your program. I mean, if they go, if they don't win a game again, if they, lose all these games by a lot, your program suffers a lot. And so when you get some really good teams and you get some good wins and, it just helps the overall energy of your whole football program, makes those kids want to get in the weight room and even become better. You see that light starting to shine a little bit more, and it's just one of those games. I know it's early, like we said, but there's a lot of bright spots over there in Baltic.
27-12 the final. Beresford defeats Baltic in the season opener in Beresford. Hope you enjoyed tonight's broadcast. We'll be back once again next week with more Baltic Bulldog football as they come home for the home opener against Flandreau at 7 o'clock next week at Baltic High School. For our producer, Matt Larson, who you heard give us the super unofficial stats.
Yes.
And the coach, Colin Boechler. I'm Zach Borg. Thank you for joining us this evening on Big Sioux Media. I look forward to giving you another great season of high school football, volleyball, and every sport in between. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you later. Have a good night, everybody.